Hi, goobers. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? My throat hurts. Guys, I already don't want to draw. I don't want to do this. This sucks. Oh, God. Has the screensaver music always been this quiet? Okay, maybe I accidentally did something. Hold on. Alright, bye, guys. Nice stream. Okay. I'll just turn it up. How about that? That'll do. That's suboptimal! Double voice happening. Is it really? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm at work. Hi, Rico. How are you doing? Is my voice sound terrible? I was messing with my audio again. I hope not. This sucks. We'll put on top chat. Okay, file. New. Live chat. Howdy. Hello, Stargazer. Yeehaw to you. How are you doing? And hello, Jace the Ace. Hello, Debunked. Hello, Gorv. Hello, Goku. Hello, Chaos in my throat also hurts. I think it has some reverb or something. Whoopsie. Let me check. Hope the stream goes well. It's holiday love and greetings. Well, hello, Decaliber. How are you doing? Reverb properties? Yeah, it does. Uh-oh. Hello, Chaos on P8. Her name is 561. Properties. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Oh, no. Hail. Hello, Desert Nomad. How are you doing? How are you doing? Alright. No. Filters. I'm an idiot. We're just designing today, nothing else. Jace the Ace, what do you want me to do? Jace the Ace, what kind of streams do you want me to stream? Filter. I'm still in shock you got poor 561's name. I got her name? Yeah, I think that's pretty impressive I got her name. Oh, the plane thing is here. Listen here, leave my child out of this, guys. I have absolutely devastating news. Absolutely devastating news. I saw gore of my daughter on my timeline. I'm not gonna lie. Remember, if you guys remember... What does my audio sound like? Hold on. I gotta figure this out. This is ridiculous if it sounds bad. Remember, if you guys remember, the actual 561 aircraft was a aircraft that a Navy team, most likely consisting of an all-female flight crew, accidentally crashed and overshot the runway and landed into the ocean. And they pulled it out and they were going to try to do everything that they could to rehabilitate this aircraft so it can fly again. And for about a year, they were trying to get 561 to fly again, and then they gave up. They gave up in July, and so they absolutely, they scrapped her. They scrapped her and they ripped her to shreds. Rest in peace, the real 561. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's gore. That's gore of my aircraft daughter. Alright, let me see if I can hear this audio. Hold on. Let me see. But other than that, how are you guys been? How are you guys been? Can we get a daughter that really looks like you? Why not? Maybe I'll do that sometime. Why not? Maybe I'll do that sometime. I don't hear it. Whoa. Do you hear like a small echo? Okay, it was a chibi. I know what the. Hold on. How are you doing today? Pretty good, all things considered. I think I decided next year my New Year's resolution would be to hear. Why is it doing that? It's like a small echo in the background. Hold on. I think I kind of hear it. Shout out to my stupid headphones. They say they're connected, and then when I play, it doesn't connect. P3 daughter when? I really need to, but how would I make her a little bit different than this one? You know what I mean? Because they have to be kind of similar, but different. Alright, connect. Hello KO, hello KO's a silent child. She's doing good today. You know, she's got a smile on her face. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, I feel like this background music's super loud. Hold on. I don't hear the echo. Do you guys hear the echo anymore? Hello, Corrupted Sonar. How are you doing? How are you doing? I think it's better. I'll turn up the music just a tiny bit more. No, not anymore. Yeah, what the hell was that? Okay, does my audio sound any better from before? I was messing with the settings again today. Okay, I took off my headphones. Let's see if that does anything. Doing good. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Straight wings and 4 turboprops. Oh, I understand. But I mean, like, her design. Like, do I give her, like, shorter twin tails because she's, like, the predecessor of the P8? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. If 561 was scrapped back in July, why didn't you bring it up then? Because I didn't know, J-Stace. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm sorry. J-Stace is like, why didn't I hear about her death sooner? Good lord. I hate when people go, all right, I have something to tell you. Oh, wait, what's going on? And then completely change the topic. Are you talking about me, J-Stace? It's part of my concentration issues. I can't keep a thought. Remember when the chat was able to get her to speak while you crashed a plane in Flight Simulator? That was fun. We gotta do that again. But the thing is like, I think I can only use that oh, speaking of which, you guys. I decided to not necessarily give up, but indirectly give up on my old PC. The motherboard, I can't do it. Hello, Laylee, how are you doing? I've just sat here and RMA'd this motherboard literally 3 times, and it's back with Asus again. And the problem is Eldridge. Yeah, pretty much Eldridge. So speaking of scraping, old metal. The problem with Eldridge is that her CPU was, you locate pay double now. Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, don't even get me started. You're about to hear it. So the problem with Eldridge was the motherboard was like only compatible with the CPU, and that CPU was only compatible with 2 motherboards. Both of the motherboards were just like ridiculously low rating. I don't know why. I didn't know at the time when I purchased the computer that this motherboard was only, this CPU was only compatible with 2 motherboards. I didn't know that. So I've learned a very pricey lesson, to say the least, because that was a Threadripper. I don't even know how many cores, and then the motherboard. So I got real nervous, as you guys have probably seen, that the RAM is going absolutely ridiculously. I think it's like 180% up in cost right now. RAM for the computer, which is like, it's the thing that makes your computer move fast and like you need it to run. I needed, if I was going to buy a new motherboard and CPU, I needed to have DDR5 RAM, and the RAM prices were going insane. And if you guys remember back, what was it, like 2 years ago when we had the GPU issue, and the GPU was like almost impossible to buy for like a reasonable price for like almost 2 years, a year and a half. I was like, there's no way I'm like waiting a year and a half for all the parts I need. So I bit the bullet and I bought some DDR5 RAM, which was, I don't even want to tell you guys the price because it was so stupid. It was so, and what was crazy, it was so stupid what I paid for it. What was even like more stupid is that like it increased. What I paid for it was insane. What it even increased to today, now that that store is starting to sell out, is even like worse. I gotta get some water, hold on. Maybe tie in some reference to the Lockheed Electra that the P3 was based on. I didn't know that it was based on that aircraft. I'll have to take a look at that. So, I bought the new RAM. The new RAM is not compatible with Eldridge's motherboard anyway, my last motherboard. So I bought a new CPU and I bought a new motherboard. And my computer guy had told me this a while back. He said my cooler was also failing, LOL, because of course. So I'm about to buy a new cooler. So pretty much I'm just buying, the only thing that's I'm like taking from the Eldridge build is my GPU, my power supply, which I didn't even use my power supply actually for that computer because I bought a new power supply, and my SSDs. Eldridge getting scrapped like Mont Long May. Eldridge getting scrapped like the real 561. You know what I mean? This sucks. So it's just ridiculous. Like, for example, last time I checked, I paid $149 for some RAM back in, I think, 2024. I think it was. And I checked that Amazon listing and it was like at $506 last time I checked, which is fucking believable. And now it's just completely sold out. Just building a new computer at this point. Yeah, it pretty much is a new computer. Literally the only thing that's gonna be used for my last computer is one of the SSDs and my 4090. So I'm pretty much building a whole new computer. And so that sucks, but at least we have a computer on the way. Hello, Frostfire, how are you doing? At least we have a computer on the way, so I can do, because like I have a 3D model ready. So I can do, hopefully, my little 3D model debut, motion capture stuff. And hopefully that works out. You know what I mean? And hopefully this computer works out fucking great. Ship of Theseus computers, you know what I mean? Unbelievable. It's just ridiculous. What? What do you mean? She'll be untouchable in Tetris once it arrives. You know what I mean? Guys, how about we don't draw today and I just play Tetris? LOL. It just sucks because, like, I will say, it just sucks. Like, financially, everything sucks. Everything sucks. Like, I'm still obviously in a stable position, but it just sucks. You know what I mean? Pretty much the entire year, I have not been able to save any money and put money into savings. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Because every single time I catch, like, I'm like, okay, I can put money into savings. You know, shout out to retirement or whatever. I have to spend money, so that kind of sucks. When is your stream anniversary? It's December 1st, actually. It's December 1st. And it sucks because, like, I was going to do my 3D debut and all that stuff December 1st because I assumed back when the model was done, which I think was a couple months ago, actually, that my PC was going to be fixed by then, and it wasn't. So that's going to be kind of independent. I don't have, like, a whole lot planned for the 1st because of all these computer issues, to say the least. But, you know, hopefully this new computer works out. Donations time. I do eventually want to do a donathon just because I think that sounds like a lot of fun, but I probably won't do that until this spring because I just don't have the time to manage all of it. You know what I mean? Currently playing Mario Kart Worlds, losing my mind. So I got my little tea here with me. Oh, and then what I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself is I want to eventually see if I can learn how to sing. Because I've been learning a lot about singing and stuff like that. And I found that a lot of it is actually muscular, like your throat muscles and stuff like that. So I think next year my little, what is it, that yearly goal you do? New Year's resolution is to take like singing classes or something like that. So I was practicing on my own, like the exercises and stuff like that. Let me move to my drawing screen. Where are we? And I think I ripped up my throat. I think I went a little too hard because my throat hurts. I'm drinking tea. Now that you're a gun owner, you're never gonna have money in savings again. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Just one of those things. And I'm like, it sucks. It sucks because I do like to be financially responsible, all that good stuff. But because of the circumstances, alas, I've spent, which shout out, I mean, at least all of this is tax deductible because I have a business. So that's kind of nice at least. But like, good God, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So I hope you guys have been doing better than I have. I'm drinking some tea to hopefully calm down my throat. It's called Chorange. Tasato recommended that to me. No way. What the hell? Hold on. I just found out, I think this YouTuber, I don't know if it's a hoax yet. I gotta verify. I think a YouTuber I really liked or was entertained by, to say the least, passed away. What the? No offense to the VTuber community, but I see so many suggestive VTuber models that I'm happy to see yours is not. Just to say that. Just joined to say that. Have a great night. Good night. Good night, fellow Airy fan. That's understandable. That's understandable. That's real, fair, and true. But thank you. I think that was a compliment. So thank you, that was. I'm not really sure. But, alright, let's get this drawing. I have not used this tablet in a while. I did a rough draft, if you guys know. I was losing my mind, and I was like, I want a pink jacket, and I've changed it to the green jacket. So now we are total green jacket. So I need to be coloring, that. Kayla really knows her tax deductibles. I'm surprisingly good at my finances and stuff like that. Like when it comes to taxes, that's why I never wanted to hire a tax accountant or anything like that, because I wanted to learn it myself. That way, like, I'm set for the future. And it's like, I know how to balance my business money really well as a result. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I got that going for me. All right, where's my drawing glove? Once she starts singing, we will finally know what the fox says. Exactly. Exactly. I think it'd just be fun. Like, I don't want to be like a fantastic singer. I'd like to be, but I'm not expecting that. But it's like, I'd like to do like karaoke and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. All right. Drawing time. I'm so excited. So excited. Wait, I forgot my drawing tablet. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Where's my little drawing tablet? I got my child in the corner. Let me fix my audio microphone. Where are we? Where's my drawing tablet? We got this. But guys, have you seen the RAM prices? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Karaoke stream collab with Stella would be epic. I think there's a lot of problems with like live karaoke, like duets and stuff like that, because I think the latency is an issue. But I'd definitely be down to do like covers or something with Stella. I think that'd be kind of fun. Sorry if you guys hear me swallowing. I think that's always gross. Needs a Swiss chan. What the hell is that? CIWS. What is that? Pin item live 2D model? No. Ignore this giant. There we go. Right. I got my... Whoops, I just threw it away. Sorry. Give me a second. Where's my tab? I just lost it. Let 516 draw. I would love to let 516 draw. I don't mind. Listen here, boy. I'll kill you. But how are you doing, Tasato? I put that there. Okay. There we go. There we go. Clothes and weapons system, big battle gun on ships. Looks like R2-D2. Oh, I see. Why the hell would we put this on an aircraft? Little 561 here is too big to land on an aircraft carrier. If that's what you meant. Okay, there we go. Alright, look at that. Let me move the music just a tiny bit. Listen here, Tasato. Listen here. Alright. I got everything set up. My visuals look good. Now, unfortunately, I have to start drawing. Life sucks, you guys. This sucks. This sucks. It was funny. Somebody was like asking like about commissions for me, I guess for like a live 2D model, and it's like, yeah, I accept commissions if you're fine with me delivering them in 2029. It's not gonna work, buddy. You got this. She landed in the sea already. Just put a carrier in between her and the next time. That is true. She did land in the sea. That is true. Alright, pop out chat. Sorry. Alright, pop out chat. Alright, we got the chat right here. I hope you guys have been well, all things considered, though. I feel like it's been years since I've last streamed. I'm still getting this stuff set up, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Oh no, damn, you saw that. Oh, I didn't know it adjusted on the screen too. Rip. Okay, putting you back then, never mind. Sorry about that. All right, put this here. Okie dokie. And I'll put that there. And I'll put this here. Stick it to the S3 if you want a capable anti-submarine warfare daughter. Rico is a P8 hater. Why do you hate my poor 516? What did she ever do to you? Wow. Man. I don't know if you guys know DC Media Girl. She was like a lolcow I used to watch. I think she passed away. That's wild. It's 561? Did I say 516? It's over. Haven't you streamed recently? I think like what I meant is like I haven't streamed artwork in a while. She replaced the P3. Kaosa had 100% motivation to draw, but as soon as she opened the drawing app up... Exactly. You know what I mean? Cursed lolcow history. Okay, you know about DC Media Girl? I think she passed away. I think she passed... I haven't been able to verify it yet. I just got a message saying that someone said that they, she passed away. That's crazy. I did not know that. Yeah, I think it's like brand new information. Live chat. Speaking of which, hello Bob, the greatest there ever was. Did you guys see that DSP collabed with Asmongold? Did you guys see that? Kind of crazy stuff. Kind of crazy world we live in. DSP, Dark Side Phil. Alright. Where is... I'm gonna have to do a lot of moving of stuff around. Oh my god. Base collab. That was so funny. DSP is so funny. Which, good for him, technically. Socks copy? What socks are these? I don't even know what these are. Hold on. Oh, it's just my white socks. I can delete that, I think. Okay, hold on. I don't watch much, to be honest. That's fair. I do have the white socks right here. Okay, so I can get rid of these. Hide that, hide that. There we go. DSP Asmongold was wild and unexpected. Yeah, it's because I think Asmongold had seen some of DSP's clips, and that's why he was asking about it. Would you interview DSP given the chance? I would. I don't think it'd be too... He's a very hard guy to communicate, and I realize he's so set in his ways that he doesn't even realize what he's doing. Like, he sits here, like, I was watching his stream today, showing all layers, hold on. And he was very, he was like, I don't worry about the detractors, I don't worry about my haters, I don't think about them ever, and then he sat there and talked about how much he doesn't think about them for like 15-20 minutes. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, I'm fairly normally who doesn't watch many streamers in general, mostly just lurk in discords. I see. I like lolcows. I'm pretty versed in the lolcow community, all things considered. Alright. Let's make sure my ruler is working. Green jacket. Alright, here's my color reference right here. I don't think there would be a lot to be gained from interviewing a guy like him. I do like to find out people's, like, the way that they think and why do they think the way that they do. Because he's a kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I know a lot of people, when they're talking and communicating, he contradicts himself all the time, but it's like the way he thinks is the reason why he contradicts himself. You know what I mean? Hey, KO, can you give me a TLDR on this DSPI? Long story short, DSP is somebody, he's a streamer who's been live streaming for I think like 10 years or so. And his most infamous moment ever was one time he was on live stream. Okay, hold on. Before he started up a live stream, he jerked off and the camera and the audio was still on. So people saw it, but they didn't see anything like inappropriate because it was just like his chest up. And then he started his live stream. So for this longest time, that was like his claim to fame, is like everybody knew him as the guy who jerks off live, essentially. And that followed him ever since. And ever since that moment, it's just like people have not let him go. And then he was and then he had hold on, jacket collar. And then he had a really insane addiction to WWE Mobile like some of the mobile games where he said that he probably spent about $10,000 to $20,000 on this game. This gacha game. For the longest time, he denied it. And he said, like, I would never play this game. You know, you guys are lying. You're detractors, blah, blah. And then someone... what was it called? There's a specific way you can fish when you trick somebody. And they got into his bank account and found all the things. Hello, Dark Virus. How are you doing? And they found out his entire purchase history. And he kept purchasing, what's it called? This WWE arena stuff. Do you suppose he's aware he has actual little fans and all his views are hate watching? I don't think they're hate watching. Like, for example, I watch him. I don't hate watch. I'm, like, fascinated watching him. You know what I mean? I'm just fascinated by him. I don't hate him. I don't like him. And I think he's, like, hilarious as in, like, a lot of the things he says and does is dumb. But he's entertaining. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not a fan, but I don't hate him. Does that make sense? Alright, let's see where these little tabs right here. I'm putting everything in these folders, right? The DSP streams are like sitting in the business meeting, always ask about why revenue is down, blames the chat for not contributing. Exactly. And he's like, guys, can I get some contributions to the chat? Guys, if you donate $150, I'll do DSP Tries It. Which is where he just goes and gets a meal from, I don't know, like Sonic or something. What the? Hold on. My computer is like freezing. And then tries it on camera, and that's the reward we get if we donate $150. Where's the rename? I don't hate him, but I don't like him. Yeah, exactly. That's literally it. So he's just interesting to watch, and that's kind of like the whole thing with lol cows, is I don't really hate them, but I don't really like them either. You know. If you give me $100, I will buy myself some food. And I'm not gonna lie, he hypes this shit up though. I'm like, damn guys, can we get to the goal? You know what I mean? Like, can we get to the goal? I gotta see what he does when he tries this. He's hilarious. Is he entertaining on the chat? Messing with him entertaining? It's like that. It's like that. But also the fact that, again, he calls, like the way he holds himself, he calls everything. I almost started typing Black Rock Shooter, black belt. He almost, he holds himself in such a funny way. Were you aware when he was doing the vest contributions? Where if you donated, like, something like $150, he would put on a vest? And how is that not the funniest shit in the world? You know what I mean? What's up, femboy? Hello, Wild Capybara. How are you doing? You know what? Just for you, Wild Capybara, I'll be a femboy. Does the skirt removable? Technically, it is removable. Hold on. I'll remove the skirt just for you. Hold on. This better work exactly how I expect it. Gotcha! 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 But yes, the skirt is removable. Mr. 5 Point, how are you doing? Damn, guys, I'm hungry. Can't get $50 for a burger. No, it's not $50 for a burger. It's $50 for a new episode of DSP Tries It. Get it right. You know what I mean? Frozeners, this man from It's Gundam. It's Gundam. She might actually draw if you donate. Okay. I'm already not drawing. Damn, Tim got me good. He was like, oh, I can't wait for another, I said, I'm doing a drawing stream. And he's like, oh, I can't wait for just chatting stream today. Rip. Gotcha. I'm still getting the hang of it. Okay, I've been an iPad drawer for a while now. It's like a month and a half. I haven't used my tablet, so I'm getting used to it. I remember that era I was heavily invested. Hell yeah. Hello, Synchro Lily. How are you doing? Make it more fanboy, make it more flat. Oh god. Okay, hold on. I'm almost done tabbing up all these little thingies. Okay, we got that belt. What is this? This is front jacket? Okay, perfect. Front jacket. Sorry, I'm doing terrible with the chat today. Gotcha. Exactly. Gotcha. I hope you're ready for nothing. Here's a real content. If you give me $50, I'll write out a review in Chaos' chat. A review of what? A review of what? And then we got the sleeves. Perfect. Alright, now I think I can start coloring. Alright, put you guys all back. Alright, let's start with the jacket collar since I kind of already did some of that. Alright, let's alpha lock. And let's make sure this works. KO's are not being the iPad kid allegations. Correct. My main drawing tablet is the iPad. I only just got this one this year. Just like the desert thing, there's nothing there, but man, is it hot. I live in the desert. Make it like the Angel Devil from Chainsaw Man, one of the best femboys in all of existence. I've heard a lot of people talk about that kid. Where is it? Deep Dipper. Okay. Right here. How about that? There we go. I don't know, you'll go buy pizza or something and remove it, or excuse me, review it. I can't even read. Alright, let me make sure it's not the right color. Save me a slice of that za. It's a dry heat. Vegas is a dry heat. Okay, where? We'll probably do that color then. How about that? Chat, you guys keep telling me that you want to try this food, but you haven't contributed enough for me to hit the goal. So it looks like I won't be able to eat this food for you guys. I know. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Can we get some contributions? If you like the stream, can we get some contributions? That's literally all of DSP's content. And he's so funny. But I will say, I think after collabing with Asmongold, Steak reached out to him for a possible sponsorship. So we'll see how that does. You know what he does if he doesn't hit the goal? Does he turn off the camera? No, he just complains until he hits the goal, and then he'll eventually end stream. But he will like shamelessly sit there and complain on stream. Thank you for the $1, Rico. I do appreciate that. I'm pushing like 100% humidity. Ooh, that sucks. That sucks. There's like no humidity here. Clipping KO's at demanding donations and outing her on Twitter. Oh no. Oh no. I will say the funniest thing is like the funniest meme with the whole DSP thing is that everyone talks about like how he outlasts everybody, like all the other streamers. And there was a meme going around about him outlasting V Shoujo. And I was like, yep, that's perfect. Can't wait for Steak to get him addicted to gambling live. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hop off and play some Fortnite. Have fun, Wild Capybara. Yeah. If he goes with the steak sponsorship, it's over. What does this actually work? Is DSP smart? Thank you. Shinta, I appreciate it. That's what I'm saying. It's like low-key. It's like low-key, he's done this for years and he's pulled it off. So it's like, who am I to even say like, he's dumb, you know what I mean? But thank you, I do appreciate that. Cancelled finally. Guys, what's gonna get me canceled? Any ideas? I need suggestions. Cancer cells notoriously are hard to kill. Yeah, that's true. DSP is so funny though. It really sucks. Like, there's got to be a better way to do this, where I'm doing this symmetry tool. But it's like slightly off symmetrical, and I can't get it to line up like perfectly because like every single time I open up this canvas, I have to reset the symmetry tool. It is ridiculous. Ban, gonna forever says popping Rico. I just realized popping Rico and then Rico. What the? I'll start drafting the Google Docky. All right. I feel like Tisauto could easily cancel me, all things considered. I think Tisauto could.
She manipulated me. She brainwashed me. She took advantage of an orphan.
I can see it now. Maybe scamming your viewers. True. Damn, I already do that. Guys, here's a drawing stream. Gotcha. Gotcha. It's time. This punk-ass Blue Fox, it's finally gonna get what she deserves. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? I think after the first cancellation, I'll be pretty strong, though, so it's okay. You know? But we can counter-cancel Tisauto. Ooh, that is true. That is true. The thing is, any suggestion on what get you canceled would get me canceled, too. Yeah, that's fair. You know what I mean? That's fair. Real and fair. Guys, thank you for the membership and your one emote for the entire year. It's tough out here, you guys. Guys, it's tough out here. If only I knew someone who could draw. You know what I mean? If only I knew someone who could draw. Plot twist, you're not actually drawing, it's pre-recorded. Basically, as slow as it goes. You could be wrong about the shape of the lead tac 208 nucleus. Ugh. You know, I could actually be wrong about the shape of the lead tac 208 nucleus. We love Gorb around here, you know what I mean? We love Gorb. Sato coming out to reveal how he's groomed by a pint-sized puntable blue dog. Exactly. Sato, were you groomed? Maybe we can start this cancellation soon. Alright, put that there. At least all this jacket is monochromatic, you know what I mean? Let's see how it looks over here, though. It's like slightly crooked. Tasato was definitely groomed. We all saw it. Poor Tasato. Oh no. Poor Tasato. Yes, I was groomed into a better person by you. We'll take it. We'll take it. That would definitely get you canceled. I mean, everyone knows it's a prolate spheroid. Okay. Alright. Okay. I can work with that, Gorb. KO knows what she's doing, you know what I mean? I use my charm as a woman to seduce these men into becoming something that they've never thought they could become, which is a better individual. That's what I do. That is my entire VTubing career. I use my power for good, you know? I could be using it for bad, but I'm not. I'm using it for good. Whoa. Here we go, wrong one. You're just doing God's work. You know what? I really am. Joke's on you. I'm here for Tasato. That's fair. Once a stream, Bob shows up. I mean, that's what women do, isn't it? Yeah, but I could sit here and use it for validation as something negative. Or I can turn the man into something nice. Chaos needs to team up with another VTuber to start baseless drama in order to farm attention. That's true. Dark Virus, I remember you said, so what made you consider doing a VTuber? That'd be kind of cool. I could probably start drama with Stella. I can start drama with Stella. No problem, bro. Thank you for being a real one. You guys are funny. Alright, put that there. Why do I feel like this pen is not, like, pretty at all? Wait a minute, you're a VTuber. Me? It kind of depends on the day. Your IG crash outs is what maybe like is what maybe me be like. What the? I don't crash out on Instagram as much anymore, thank you very much. I'm a reformed individual. I used to go ballistic on my Instagram, not gonna lie. So don't forget flowers. Oh yeah, your charm as my woman is definitely what did it for me. Alright. Alright. Sato, what do you give me for Christmas? Not anymore. It's before I even join your streams. Oh, I see. I keep forgetting what, like, where along the line did you start following me? Hello, Flavor Rizzo. How are you doing? Alright, let's put a little bit more over here. What's a hot take you got, Fox? Cancelable hot take or non-cancelable hot take? So it really depends. You know, if it's non-cancelable, then it's a lukewarm take at best. You know what I mean? Your choice. Local VTuber bullies her chat into starving themselves under the guise of self-improvement. You know, that can be a real and true answer, technically. With all my fasters. Let's go all in. Cancellation today. Let me think. I think a very room temperature take is video games are overrated. And unless you're financially stable to play them, unless you're stable in like a lot of circumstances, they're just like a waste of time for people to do. That's like a very room temperature take. I'm just here because you sound chill and smart and X and your model is cute. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad people think I'm smart. I think I'm well spoken. I don't think I'm smart necessarily. But I guess it depends on your metric of smart. Right. I think this is looking pretty mediocre at best, all things considered. Video games are overrated. I don't get how men legit just sit and play for hours to the point they ignore their partners types of thing. Yeah. I think they're overrated too. Another lukewarm take is art, which includes like figures and toys, are not for everybody. It's not alright. I can't believe that's even considered a lukewarm, or excuse me, like a hot take. When I said that I'm like, okay, well, maybe not everyone can afford toys, and maybe not everyone should. I got people saying I was, what was it called? Poverty phobic or something like that. Something about me being phobic against poor people. And I was like, wow, that's a new one. Hello there, how are you? Hello, Vlad, how are you doing? You're from Russia. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll come here more often. You'll have a chance to prove me wrong. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Are you American or British? I'm not British, thank God. I'm a full-blooded American. I like guns. You know, I like my artillery. You know? Godzilla is for everyone. I literally got people who were saying like, well, what about the children who don't get a lot of money for an allowance to order figures? That's really mean that you said that figures should be costing more. I'm like, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? What's another hot take? Or mediocre take, rather. I don't know how to say that. Where is Vocaloid01? Where is Miku? Great question. Hell yeah, America. Hell yeah. You better be not driving, Tasato, because I know this is like usually around your time. You're coming from work. How are you doing, Captain Iron Mask? You know what's crazy, Kyosa? Those same people will shit on the brokies that buy bootlegs. That too, like that, first of all, the whole figure collecting is just ridiculous. That's also another thing, is just like, how many Mikus, it's not even Miku anymore. I hate to break it to you guys. It's not even Miku anymore. It's just like, it's marketing. It's spells, people. You are under spells. This isn't even happening Miku anymore. They just put two blue or green, like tealed hair, and they're like Miku, and everyone like eats this shit up. And I'm like, you guys are under spells. Figures are a luxury. Exactly. Exactly. I was talking about that in a review video, and people were actually upset. Because the concept was Good Smile Company was trying to say that they were lowering the cost, they're lowering the materials used for their, packaging for the environment. And I'm like, if that was the case and they actually cared about the environment, they would stop producing so much plastic toys, because the plastic is worse for the environment than the packaging is. And so what they could do to offset the fact that they're not producing as much toys is increase the cost. If Good Smile Company cared about the environment, that's what they would do. But they don't. They were just using the greenwashing effect where they're like, look guys, we're eco-friendly, just so they can charge us the same amount for a lower quality product. But because I suggested that Good Smile Company, if they cared about the environment, they should raise prices, people were pissed. Wild. You know what I mean? Cancelled after today, what she is. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Would be doing better without a headache. That sucks. I had one yesterday, and that really, really sucked. Pewter figures make a comeback. What the hell are pewter figures? I think you just kind of showed your age with that one. What the hell are pewter figures? All right, do a little bit more darker. They hated her for speaking the truth. They really did. But 9 times out of 10, it's fucking kids. It's fucking kids on the internet who have put so much value in consumerism that they believe it's almost a damn right now, which is embarrassing. Brokies don't deserve figures. Every single time you made that sound worse, Dark Virus, it was so funny. They could use porcelain instead of plastic. That's what I'm saying. They could do so much more instead of cheapening the product so it saves them money and blaming it on like, oh, if you guys complain, again, it's just brainwashing because the company wants the little people who buy from them to turn on each other. So now if I say, hey, you're lying, and it's like, this is not environmental friendly, someone's like, oh, well, it's definitely better than what they had before. Do you not care about the environment? It's the psychological warfare these companies do all the time. Same thing with tipping culture. Same thing with tipping culture. You know, these companies knew Americans were going to be dumb enough to blame their fellow man over the company when it comes to tipping. They knew it. And lo and behold, we have this whole discourse when it comes to tipping. Pewter is what a lot of old metal toys were made out of. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. I don't believe a company can just raise all their prices like that. Not a really smart business idea. I get want to be more green, but at least a company losing money, they wouldn't do it. So it's like they would take... I mean, they would still... You can balance it where you can raise your prices successfully. Like, look at technically... they're not as popular anymore, but Pop Mart, they raised their prices and like lowered their quantity and they made more money. So it is possible. And if you pay attention to luxury brands like, excuse me, Chanel, that's what they do. They make a lot of money, but they specifically, when the brokies, who they see as the brokies, start to buy their purses more and they sell more, they raise the price because they want it more exclusivity. And so they maintain their brand's value by making a product more expensive. It is possible. Don't get me started on tipping. Ridiculous. I'm European, so that's not an issue here, thank God. I know. And then if you talk to the room temperature IQ individuals, you bring up tipping to them, they get so upset. They're like, you don't deserve to go out and eat if you don't tip. Oh, and that's also another thing. The people also... who believe door dashing, which didn't exist before like 2016, they believe that is a right too. You know what I mean? Like we lived without door dashing, believe it or not. That's also another hot take of mine. Okay, Alphalog. Tipping started during the Great Depression as a way to ensure people doing jobs like serving were getting paid enough. That's completely fine. That's completely normal. But like in today's society, I understand where it's like probably started in a different concept. But the fact... Did I color that wrong? Oh, why did I do that? I'm gonna have to fix that. I forgot my train of thought, damn it. I was like, why did I made the black part the line art, and I was definitely not supposed to. I don't know why I did that. And then it's stuck. Companies usually pay their employees decently anyway, and then often tip doesn't even go to the person you tip. Yeah, and it's like, and I've done that. I've been in a tipping position. I was a pizza delivery boy. You know what I mean? I've done that. It does suck every now and then because you're like, okay, I don't get a tip. That sucks. I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it because that's the whole name of the game. If I wanted more money, I would educate myself. I would develop a skill to make more money. You know? That's also a controversial take. Unbelievably so. No suffering left in the world. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Delivery boy, I knew it. There we go. I gotta keep you guys guessing. Many restaurants should add the tips to the pay pool for the employees. Either way, it's ridiculous. You know, these companies should just pay their people a fair wage. They're not going to, so they blame it on the customer. I don't argue with room temperature IQ idiots. I'm not the moron whisperer. What my favorite quote is like, what do you get when you've bested a fool? What do you get from that? Nothing. What do you get when you've bested a fool? Absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Why should I have to pay your wage? Because, you know, it's the blame game. Shout out Dark Virus. Most of the time, a restaurant pays employees fairly anyway. I would say decently. I don't really know of a company that doesn't really pay, like, unbelievable wages. But, again, if you're in circumstances where you need more money, because, say, for example, you decided to start a family, that's a decision. Then you need to work a little harder to provide for your family. You know what I mean? I can't believe that that's such a foreign concept to people, all things considered. I hate when places force a minimum tip on your check. I won't even, if that's the case, I won't even shop there. Like, I won't even, like, I will discontinue my order right then and there. I literally hate where it's like, I go, like, what is it? It might be Steak Shack. Or Shake Shack, whatever it is. But there's one of them where they, you order at a kiosk and they ask for a tip. There was, I don't remember where it was, but it's like you order at a kiosk yourself, so you're not even talking to like an employee, and they still ask for a tip. Is it winter in the US yet? Kinda. I live in Nevada, Las Vegas, so it's a little hot here, so not really. I was also a pizza delivery person. It was wild riding a bike in the snow. $2. Thank you, customer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those were the days. They were. It was kind of fun, all things considered. You got to get in your car all the time, just blast music. I was in a big Eminem phase at the time. How can you force a tip? You can't force a tip, but a fee. Exactly. I don't have a family, but with this new house, I definitely keep the option of a second job open. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's, like, that's, I don't understand how this is such a foreign concept to people. Where it's like, you have to work to get resources. Historically, that's always been the case. Even when money didn't exist, it was like bartering and trading. So you were working to create something. You created the local bread. You created the local poultry, you know, for people to eat, and you traded resources, but you have to work to create those resources to trade. Why is it so foreign to people that to understand that you have to work to get resources? You know what I mean? You have to be a contributor to society. Hello, I'm back. Welcome back, Grey Notes. How are you doing? How are you doing? It's crazy how people don't get common sense. What is it? Like, unironically, what is going on? You know what I mean? The death of local businesses is also a tragedy. I agree, but it really depends, because when you say like local businesses, you're also referring to like small businesses, and I'm a small business, and the thing is with small businesses, you do have to very frequently pivot on what you're doing, and so it is hard and it is tough, and there are times where it's like they get bullied by bigger companies. But that's just, to me, it's like survival of the fittest, even though that sounds mean, because that's what it is. Because that's what the world runs by, is survival of the fittest, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? Got back from the phone call. Great stuff. I'm getting screened for 3 things. What are you getting screened for? I do wonder. If you don't mind sharing. Like, life is survival of the fittest. Whoever wants, 9 times out of 10... except for like the very rare nepotism, the person who wants it the most is going to get it. A lot of society doesn't understand that there are people out there that want what you want, but they want it more than you. They want it more than you. So they're going to work harder than you're going to get, like, than you're going to work, because they want it harder than you. You know what I mean? And they're going to get rewarded with that. I recently learned that, and I was like, wow, that's life-changing. What I missed seems like a fun topic. We were just talking about, like, kind of like you have to work in society in order to get anything, in the same way that, like, a lot of this generation, I don't want to say just this generation, a lot of society, because I don't think it's a specific generation, they just really don't want to work. And, like, historically, even when money wasn't a thing, you still had to work because, like, you had to barter and trade. Like, I traded my cow's milk for your poultry, and so I have to milk the cow. I have to create a good product that's worthy of trading. Why is it nowadays people genuinely don't understand that you still have to work? Like, that's always been the thing. We're talking about hashtag brokies. You're so funny, Dark Virus. I learned that recently. Yeah, it was a guy, he was talking about, like, you know, like, when it comes to, like, buying a house, for example, when he bought his house, he wanted this house more than anybody else, so he paid more money because he was the highest bidder. He wanted it more than anybody else. That's simply the case. He was willing to overpay for his circumstances because he wanted it more. You know, a lot of winners overpay for things in life. You know, like, for example, like a small business, I really wanted to have the financial freedom, the freedom of not having to go to being employed, blah, blah, blah. And so I worked my ass off to get to where I'm at. Like, I overwork, I undervalued my time. Everyone says, like, oh, your time's so valuable. Who says? Who says? Society, technically. So if society says your time's not worth what you think it is, you gotta reevaluate. That's life. You know what I mean? Trying to get into a bidding way with the VA loan is not fun. At least you have a VA home loan, though. That's a good thing. The only issue is that these days the value of a person's wage is not always a reflection of the responsibility they actually carry. Some get paid way too much for basically contributing nothing of value. Agreed. I do agree with that. So it all comes back to the question. What is the question? What's worth more, time or money? You know what I mean? Money. Money forever. You know? There will always be someone who works harder or better than you no matter what you do. Yeah, that's just a reality. And so you can sit here and you can cry about it, or you can use it as inspiration. Most people want to cry about it. Time is worth a lot more as a whole. Don't even get me started, Tasato. There is no such thing of a good war, Jace to Ace. I disagree. Like, I disagree, Jace to Ace. Here we go again. You know what I mean? Money and resources. When it comes to survival of the fittest. That life is, and that it's a cruel world. Life is cruel, you guys. I'll be the first to let you know. Life is cruel. You know, you're gonna be played cards that are gonna put you at a disadvantage over people. That is life. Overcome it, or just cry about it. You know, you have a choice. You have a choice. There will all be a use for war, exactly. Time is more valuable, you can have fun even with money as long as the basics are being covered. Oh god, listen here, Shinta. Okay, so, if you think I am somewhat smart, I have a video. Me and Tasato went into this huge heated argument about which is worth more, time or money. And that was a specific live stream. I would love to technically know your opinion on it. Because I argued money, he argued time, and he eventually conceded. And he agreed that I was correct. But he tried everything. It was a great stream. To abort is to kill a potential hero or villain in the world. Yeah, Jace Days, it is. You know, that's what it means. You know? Jace Days is just coming in for whatever. Go ahead and cry. It's funnier for the rest of us. Like, technically, fuck was that? I don't know. Time is worth 100% more. Oh, I'm starting to salivate here. No. Because the reason why it's not is because money is a amplifier of people's time. So you can make the time that you spend more valuable if you have access to money. Go for it, KO. You're so funny. Sorry, my caps was stuck. The one worth more is whichever one you lack. That's actually a really good perspective, Survivor Turtle. That is true, technically. That might be the real and true answer right there, actually. Honestly, Survivor Turtle, I think, may have just killed that argument right then and there. Because it is true. The one worth more is whichever you lack. I do want to hear this. I prepared for my argument and everything, so it's like, it'd be better that stream, but... The doctor with more experience, that was so funny. Tasato was so dumb. And the unique thing you're doing is being a veteran VTuber and going live all the time. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. But I know what you mean. Because it's like, the only reason why I can go live is because I created a business where I'm financially comfortable enough to go live. You know what I mean? So it's like, I worked really hard for my position right here, and a lot of people just say I'm lucky. That's a very true perspective. First of all, shout out to Survivor Turtle for that one. That was really funny. When someone is stronger than you, be smarter. When someone is smarter than you, be better. When someone's better than you, fake it until you make it, be better. That's a lot to it. I don't think there's a whole lot of value in saying being better than someone, because it's such a hard thing to do. Like, am I better than Tasato? Yes. But am I better than him at being tall? No. Am I better at him than being a man? No. Am I better at him than being scary because he's a man? No. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to compare. Some of us lose to KOs at Tetris, some of us lose at time versus money 3 times. Shout out to Zato. He tried, you know. I hate that lucky argument. Me too. Me too. It's 9 times out of 10, it's from people who have just never tried in life, and so they just want to cast stones. They just want to cast stones. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I do hate it where a lot of people use their disadvantages because, yes, a lot of people are disadvantaged. That's life. But they use it as an excuse of why they can't succeed. And then whenever you give them an example, hey, well, this person did it with a disadvantage. Oh, they're the exception. You know what I mean? You know the character Roshan from Watchmen? He's only 5'6". I did not know that, Jace to Ace. Well, that second one is questionable. The second one was debatable. Wait, what was debatable? Either way, I'm here. I'm here to listen. Ignore my previous statement. I noticed. Okay, let me look, Tasato. Listen here. I'm trying. I am attempted to draw. Money without time has far more opportunities than time without money. Hold on. What did you say, Tasato? That's a very true perspective. That's all I saw. What the? Yo, that's all you said. Unless it got censored. I literally see only that was a very true statement. Sato last comment said he loves you. Oh, what the? Working to benefit society fell out of fashion because the bottom 10% get paid to do nothing while the top 10% get rich by manipulating money and providing absolutely no value to society. I would have to disagree with you because the way that the top 10%, 9 times out of 10, the way that they garnered that money was contributing to society by paying their taxes. And that's why they get tax breaks in the first place, is because like local, say like for example, an Amazon facility is built in bumfuck Tennessee. The local county wants them to build a facility there because that facility will create jobs and it will create income. Because it's creating income, the people who are getting paid have to pay taxes. So now that local economy gains more money and more resources than they had before. You know, so a lot of people, I feel like there are some people out there who quite literally have no money, but everyone's like, oh, these billionaires pay no taxes. And yet they've created more revenue, more tax dollars, and more income that they're giving to their employees than you could never even think of. You know what I mean? But fuck you mean bumfuck Tennessee, specifically the Gallatin area, specifically outskirts of Knoxville area. Specifically, Oxford, Mississippi, too. I'm trying to think of all the places I know. Would you give up your dreams if it was for the greater good? It depends if I agreed with the greater good, then yes. But Jace the Ace, I'm very, very lenient, all things considered. So the greater good to me, I do value it highly. And I did not even mean to put these there at all. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know, there was a village in Australia called effing, then they changed to fugging because people kept making fun of it. That's cool, Jace the Ace. I do notice you really love typing out profanity. You know? KO here hitting me with the strays. Hell yeah. Do you live in Tennessee? Oh, I wonder what part you live in. I grew up in Tennessee. I was in Tennessee for like 10 years. 10 or 11 years, actually. Yeah. They even stole the city time all the time. That's fair. You know, what were they expecting, actually? You said Australia instead of Austria. Whoops. I see. The 10% aren't contributing nothing. However, they often beat down any competition, create monopolies that constrict the market. It is competitive. It is competitive for resources because the margins are so thin, whether they live or die. It can be one small little thing because, like, the thing is like, they're so big. The costs to operate are also insane. Absolutely insane to manage. Like, you can't even fathom how much money it costs them just to exist. So if they have a small hit to their profit, it can like literally bankrupt the entire company. Like, we've seen it historically. You know what I mean? And we're kind of watching some of these companies like collapse because like it's just like so small. Like, for example, Funko Pops, I think they're on the verge of bankruptcy, even though this company has like what, millions of toys out. How can a company that big file bankruptcy? Is because their margins for success are so small. It is very, very risky to run a huge business. You know what I mean? Kentucky and Tennessee, you said almost on point where I am. That's hilarious, actually. Listen here. Listen here. At this point, it's easier to re-quote myself. No, we argued which was better for helping people specifically. Is there general debate for value? I would have easily won. Tasato, do you want a value? Do you want a debate on the value of time versus money? All right, I'm on. I'd be down. That's why innovation has to stay high. It can rile up existing markets and break up monopolies. That too, you know? I do agree. As a small business, it is hard. It is hard to keep up. It really is. But if I'm not good enough, I will fail. That is life. I'm not going to sit here and pull a BSP. I'm not going to sit here and beg for support just because I think I deserve a life that's more comfortable than most people. You know what I mean? It's sink or swim in this world. I don't know why this is so foreign to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Hello, Chaos. Hello, Samantha. How are you doing? I'd debate that. That's a good argument. All right. Maybe we can debate that. I'll debate anything, really. You won't give me back my money. Hell yeah. Such companies are multi-billion. If you land end-to-end, $1 billion, $1 bills would stretch for approximately, who cares? So therefore, what does that have to do with anything? Oh, a lot of money, big money long. Big money long. Okay. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? Other than big money long, you know? Tone it down, Murgoff. What is Murgoff doing? Cute giggle. Oh, you're funny. You're funny, Sano. What do you think of the concept of the late stage capitalism? I'm not too familiar with it. What is it? I think I am, but if you could just refresh me, that'd be very helpful. She really pulled it. Who cares? You know, big money long. You know? Comprehend the magnitude of the company. Oh yeah, I mean, they're huge. Samantha, what did we talk about? We said no more dots when you're thinking. Only type, Samantha. Only type when you have something to say. You know, I've told you this like 3 times. You can do it. You got this. You can do it. All right. I think we got it. Question mark, Hayu. Hello, Hayu. How are you doing? How are you doing, my dear Hayu? How's the military life treating you? You know what I mean? How are you doing? OMG, Hayu. I caught a stream for once. Yeah, finally. Finally. I was trying to say most don't really comprehend how big $1 billion is. Oh! Okay. That's fair. I agree. I don't think I want to know what I just logged into. They don't fail because margin's low. They fail because they load up on debt, gambling, the revenue will cost or increase. Where the revenue drops, they're insolvent. So they're taking a risk because their company's so big. I think because the company's so big, that's the risk in and of itself. And then again, like something just trips up and then they fail. Because if margins wouldn't be low, they wouldn't fail. That's my recommendation, or excuse me, response. Debate KO's a Hayu? Hayu, what do you want to talk about? If MPS counts as military life, pretty damn good. Deepen that tone when you talk. Tasana, you're so funny. Deepen that tone when you talk to Hayu. Literally, the only downside is being stuck in this shithole that's California. There we go, Tasato. Is that one approved? Deepen that tone. Tasato, you're actually so fucking funny for that one. You're so funny. And poor Hayu probably doesn't even get it either. My knees and legs were far too dead to go back out hunting today. I'm here watching Small Cute Fox. Says Murgoff. Good. Leave the little animals alone. They're just the little guys. You don't need to be killing them. You know what I mean? Hayu debating Chaosa will end up in a stalemate. More like Hayu crying. More like Hayu crying. Actually, that's only after 8 p.m. After 8 p.m, if you talk to Hayu, he gets real emotional like every other man. KO, can you describe the difference between nuclear fusion and fission, and which one would have a great energy gain over time with the least amount of radioactive debris? So actually, my opinion on that... No, like, let's be real. I don't know what any of those things... I don't even know what those words mean. What does that even mean? Hayu, do you not know what it means? Oh, Hayu, how innocent. How innocent. How innocent and cute, you guys. 9 p.m. for real, men. Why would I be debating you? Because the people want blood. Humans inherently are violent creatures and they want blood around here for whatever reason. Hi 561, hi KO, hi Hoshi. Maru, how are you doing? How are you doing? Also, for whoever's in service, thank you for it. Hayu, thank you for your service. Look at that. Look at that. You didn't even have to go to a grocery store in uniform. Thank you for your service, Hayu. Thank you for wasting your time to protect our country. Is that your TISM child? Oh, listen here, Riley. It's still up in the air. We haven't gotten her professionally tested yet. So yes. So yes. Basically, the 1% wealthy corporation owns a majority of everything from homes, food that will lead to eventual collapse. Oh, I'd have to understand some examples of that. Would it be the whole concept of like, you own nothing? Like, is that late stage capitalism? Gotta dip. See you later, Bob, the greatest there ever was. To make her mad and cry, Hayu, you're the only one. Hayu could not make me cry. I think the only person who could make me cry is my father, because I just get so frustrated. I will say. We're already agreeing on our same page on most topics. There's not much to debate. Wait a minute. Guys, do you remember anything off the top of my head what I can argue with Hayu about? I forget. Shinta, that would be Stargazer and Hayu. Stargazer, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. More like you can't afford anything that was affordable due to the corporations buy it out. But if you can't afford anything, then the companies can't stay in business. So how does that work? You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I raised my prices to $100 per keychain, nobody could afford it, I can't stay in business. You know what I mean? Buy anime figures? No. 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 I could make Chaos cry, though. I wouldn't, though. Okay, Tasato, there is one way you can make me cry. There is one way. But I know you would never do it. So other than that, no. I can afford them. That's why it would collapse. Oh, well then... I don't think you'd ever get to that point where it's like so many people at the top have all the resources. And absolutely nobody could function. Because like something would renew. You know what I mean? Like something would be rebirthed, I think. He doesn't show up often, but Debunked User is another service member. Okay, let's not do Stolen Valor. You know what I mean? Debunked is not. Debunked is too corny. Only through murder. I'm not serving. I think you serve all the time, Stargazer. I think your profile picture, I think he's serving. I think he's serving pretty well. It basically becomes total terrorism. What does that mean? Big businesses, on the other hand, make decisions to benefit their shareholders, not the businesses themselves. I think that depends on the business. I think that's a gray area of like not black and white. I think it depends on the business. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Basically, we run on scripts with a government that's actually an oligarchy. Oligarchy. Historically, an oligarchy has never, ever succeeded, right? I think I remember that one time, hearing that. What kind of jacket is the new model trying to wear? Specifically this jacket. Right here. That's actually the jacket. Why does it look Air Force? What does KO stand for? What does KO stand for? KO. What does KO stand for? Ah, take your time, hi, you guys. This is the people actively serving in our country's military. Just as a reminder. Just as a reminder. That's a bad pun. It's a great pun. KO sounds like KO. Exactly. It's a great pun. I watched your intro video. Oh god, which one? Oh no, I don't even remember. It's probably old and outdated. KO knockout. Exactly. I think the pun is cute. It's perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not the one who misspelled the name. What is he even talking about? Guys, the people actively defending our country in the flesh. Unbelievable. Alright, take this. America isn't an oligarchy, it's a plutocracy. Shut up. Shout out to that. Kaoza obviously. Oh, that's a good one, actually. Damn, I like that one. What does Kaoza stand for? Kaoza obviously. Damn, I'm gonna probably use that one. Damn, gotcha. Kaoza versus Kaoza debate. I could do it. Okay, I could do it. If we could find two good sides, I can argue myself. And then you guys can vote which Kaoza did it right. I wasn't surprised when you mentioned Neopets. I love Neopets. I love Neopets. Yeah, technically I'm a loop. But for ease's sake, I'm like, oh, I'm just a fox. I'm just a fox. You know what I mean? Says the person who made a character wrote Kaoza, wrote it as KO in English. No. That's because technically this character is Kaoza. It's Keyyoza. Kaoza. That's the character. My technical username is like Kaozia, which is my art name. It's so stupid and so confusing. Long story short, I had a Neopets account called Kaoza. It got frozen because I like lost the password, or I tried doing this sign in with your password to get 100,000 free Neopet points, and I lost the account. So it's like in my head, it was always, I was also like fucking 5. And so it's like in my head, it was always Kaoza, but I couldn't use that username again. So I just tossed an I and the IA. So like it, but the character, my loop, my Neopet was always the KEI. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call you K. Hell yeah. Caillou doesn't know Kao's the character, you know what I mean? And when I was making a VTuber, I was like, damn, I'm not really good at designing characters, so I'm just gonna yoink my my OC. And so that's what I did. You know what I mean? Kaoza versus Kaoza debate. Exactly. Okay, guys, what can I debate? How can I debate? You know what I mean? Hi, you with the call out. Okay, how you slow? You know what I mean? That was an explanation for why you wrote in Katakana way back when I was proofreading the comic. I hate your guts, you dumbass. I hate your guts. You're so annoying. You're so annoying. Is water wet? No, it has to be a good one. It has to be a good one. Hi, was like, I hate his guts. I hate his guts. Mods, take this man away. Cut off his head immediately. How you pulled the gotcha? How you with the I've known Kaoza longer than everybody else. You know what I mean? Oh god. Oh god. Is the ocean a soup? No. Right here. There we go. We love just chatting streams. You know what I mean? The one person in chat who can't be BS'd. Easy clap, boy. Easy clap. Listen here. Listen here. Government slave. Go back to your watch station. At least I don't have to ask somebody for permission to have freedom.
Excuse me, respectfully requesting permission to have this chit signed so I can take my vacation to go to Comic Hit in Japan. Respectfully requesting permission to get an extension leave duty because I'm going out of my local area.
Okay. I signed my own leave requests. Do you really though? Do you really though? You think I'm not on watch? If I scream, will this dead deer go away? Dead deer? What the? You guys are wacky. You guys are wacky. KO's a dunking on the government slaves. I'd rather serve crack than serve my country. I love that t-shirt. I don't know if you guys see that. I have a shirt that says that and it's hilariously made. Samantha with the ... Samantha! We're gonna ban ... No more ... Samantha. You gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me, Samantha. I'm asking you. No more ... Alright, I think that's fine, all things considered. Don't take away my ellipses. I gotta. You can use them at the end of conversation, just not like ... Because what Samantha said is when she's thinking of something, she types out ... I'm like, that is so silly. Meowdy, hello Fenrir. How are you doing? Officers don't serve the country, they serve me. have been overstimulated recently, so I'm hiding my closet. Okay, okay, there's nothing wrong with going into your closet. All things considered. But I am curious, what do you got overstimulated by? Excuse me, are we gonna get to the right area or not? She's doing her best chat GPT impression. I should find my loops when I get home. You really should. Where the France is my... There we go. Okay, we have that. Take this. I need to dot right here. It is darker. Those jackets are comfy, though. What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about? I'm smoked and just burnt out right now. Gray Note says. You know, when I used to get high, I got like a mild case of like schizophrenia. But low-key, I've been kind of like wanting to smoke again because like it makes me so unbelievably creative. And so it's just like, who would be surprised to think or to realize that an artist being intoxicated with substances makes you more creative of an individual? Very surprising. But, you know. I heard that! Gorv, what did you hear? What did you hear? That's me with alcohol. The one you're drawing, the NB... Oh, no. So specifically... this is a different jacket. I see what you're saying. No, this is technically, it is probably inspired by the military. But it is a different jacket, technically. You said the F word. Oh, did I really? I didn't even realize it. Wow, I can't believe that someone in chat encouraged spamming. Just wow. What are you... Samantha, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do you really sign your own leave, Chitayu? Nah, she's a Gore-Tex chat. Hell yeah. Vaguely looks like the AMM TAC 02. Funny enough, I think this jacket is called PK TAC 01. So I think it's really inspired by the military. Or like whatever that is. Just trying to make that abomination look fashionable. Hell yeah. Oh, you have to stop saying France. Gorv, you are something else. You are something else. Debunk user, what was that jacket you said that this one looked like? Tasato asks. It's like debunked user. Love the techie wear aesthetic. Hell yeah. Woman got out of the military and doubled down on the cutesy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be very cute in the military. You have to wear a uniform all the time. I think the blue military uniform was cute, though. She doubled down in the ooh-woo. It's funny, like, I'm not even the ooh-woo kind of person, either. Listen here, I'm a tom. I'm a tomboy. I'm a tom man. Put that there. This is just looking terrible. This is just looking terrible. Okay, actually doesn't look too bad when I look at it far away. How you likes your model? Thank you. Someone told me to spam emojis. I don't spam emojis, much less lose them daily. That's what got you overstimulated to go hide in your closet, Samantha? Tell it to TikTok military influencer with the cutesy shit. Who? Who, I wonder? I think active duty people, active duty service military shouldn't be wearing uniform and TikToks. Is a good model. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think the darker color was just like a better aesthetic for, just kind of like my personality. I did like the pink jacket, but I'm like, I like this one a little bit better. Can you please make a model of Tung Swore with 67 on a calculator? Skibbity Riz, Diddy Blood. What else do the kids say? I need to make a list of this. Hold on. Ohio. Dead man. I'm gonna need to see a marriage license before you continue. Plan B, I need you to relax with those statements. You're so funny, huh? Tasato. Is the upper part of the jacket layer, the top bit, is it split in 2 layers in the middle? Are you talking about like actual illustratively wise, or just as in like the actual jacket? Because like these are like different pieces I'm working on. If that's what you're asking. If so, it's easier rig. So yeah, you are talking about that. Yeah, I'm splitting it up. I'm drawing all of it first, and then I'm gonna cut it. And then I realize I'm gonna cut it and then apply shadow. Kind of like how you can see, like, I tested out an example right here. You can kind of see shadow on her hair. After I cut it, though. That's what I'm gonna do. Fantastic work. Thank you, sweet tea. I appreciate it. Let me get the, is he a Marine? TikTok will forever haunt the Marine gunny. What the? No, siblings keep surrounding me and yelling random stuff, and then when I go to a corner to chill, they go and chase me down. I see. I see. Yeah, the pieces look like they're combined in the center. Yeah, they are, 100%. Most everything are, so like, for example, like the tabs are still in one layer. I'm gonna cut it up after I finish drawing. It's just like easier, so I can, when I color on one side, it immediately mirrors it on the same layer. You know what I mean? Love your artwork. Thank you, Stargazer. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm gonna try a little bit more. Where's my... Is this it? No, that's not it. This is it. This is why it takes me so long to draw. I'm like, what is this? There we go. Jacket collar. Alright, new layer. Clipping mask. How the hell do I do clipping mask again? This, right? Yeehaw! Yeehaw! I didn't even notice that you were talking to me with that statement. LOL, took me a moment. That's Tesado for you. Alright, let's try... Let's see... We'll see how this is gonna look. I don't know if I necessarily... I don't think I like that, but I kind of do. Sent in the Discord for all the Marines in chat. Hell yeah. I don't think our local Marine, our obnoxious Marine is in chat. Let's see. How does this look? Interesting, to say the least. Hi, when is your VTuber coming for the Hi UX KO collab? When is the HoloLive superstar Fubuki going to collab with Kyoza? Fantastic question. Fantastic question. Let me know if you need to light a fire under his ass around Valentine's Day, White Day. What the? What the? I need to get a pair of noise-canceling headphones or something. You probably should. It probably would help you. Ooh, that's kind of pretty of a shape. Nonsense. All Marines are obnoxious. 100% correct. Crayons will be supplied in the chow hall. As they should. I also hate how easily overstimulated I get. I see. Yeah. You just gotta learn to probably, like, take it easy. I know that's terrible advice. You know what I mean? But I can't really think of anything else. Okay, let's try multiply. You know what I mean? The Marine Corps is just a cult, 100%. You know, who's gonna keep Crayola in business? Big Marine. Back from my evening commute. Hello, Raina. How are you doing? Long time no see. I kind of like the way that looks. Let's see if I can just do a little bit right here. That looked horrible. Implying I would ever dare to take away light from the absolute brilliant light of innocence that is the Fubuki Kingdom. Are you saying I'm not innocent? I'm innocent and pure and wholesome big chungus energy. Do you guys agree? Big Marine, you know what I mean? Definitely take time when you're overstimulated. Find things like ground yourself and take it slow. Exposure therapy is good for that stuff, but don't push yourself. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Okay, let's take that. I'm pretty innocent, I think. We call that Navy K. Hell yeah. It doesn't look too bad. Marine's got a budget cut. It's Rose Art now instead of Crayola. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't think this looks too bad. And it kind of looks like that weird whatever. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Should I add any, like... Around here, maybe. Chaos is our good Christian streamer. Exactly. This is a Christian manga. Behave. We can't say that here. Alright, now that looks bad. It doesn't look too bad. I just need to blur it. Yeehaw! Does the jacket not have buttons or zippers? It's supposed to have zippers, and I probably will add that later. Because like I have to do each of these little parts in like different, like right here. And like different parts. So it'd be like the zipper would be under here. And I'm just not there yet. All right, where is the blur? Hide the degeneracy. Nobody has to know. We just won't be eating the good MREs anymore. MREs are pretty good, all things considered. Is this doing it on both sides? It's not. Why? I've had that happen before. I think it's this. Why? I had that happen one time where it's like it was only blurring on one side. Now I'm wondering if my mind of Chaos is more of a blonde blazer or a VZ. What are those words mean? What do those words mean? Okay, why is this not mirroring? Blonde. Alright, let's try that. Maybe this will do it. Here we go. Now it's doing it for some reason. I'm just doing something now that you were doing for an hour. What were you doing for an hour? I'm trying to draw, Rena. Business as usual. I'm trying to draw. Allegedly. Allegedly. Oop. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't look bad. Their characters in Dispatch. Little me thought my dad bringing surplus MREs on camping trips was the coolest. Yeah. My dad did too, actually. Alright. Let's try a little bit more... like darker around these areas. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. This looks like a good body pillow. Eventually. I'll make a new body pillow. Eventually. Scorching 30 degrees. European spotted. Memories are so good when you're in your middle of the desert with scorching hot suns, but it's 30 degrees with wind. Alright, put that there. I'll just darken it a tiny bit right here just for shits and giggles. I don't actually know how to color. I just color and I'm like, oh, I hope this turns out right. To keep her warm on these cold, lonely nights. Chaos.store already has a high-quality Dakimakura. That is true. My current model, here. I have a Dakimakura already. Okay. Let's blur this. I need to unpack my Dakis still. Hayu, one day I would like a wife, Hayu. Oh, I need to unpack my Dakimakuras. Really makes you think. Her dumper... Her dumper. Her daughter's a grumpy little goober. Her dumper? What the? Can I pin your Daki to a dartboard? Actually, I would prefer if you used it at a firing range. Now that would be interesting. You know, I think that'd be really interesting. Speaking of business, I'm going to be doing tons of homework over break. Sad. That sucks. You need God, Hayu. That sucks, Arena. That sucks. Alright, we're just gonna fucking blend that. Alright. Kinda looks bad. Let me see what it looked like without it. It doesn't look too bad. Considering I got 2 of them from someone I was dating at the time, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. That's why you were dating at the time, and you're no longer currently dating. I sleep with Kaoza every night. Where are my tabs? There we go. New one. Copy. Okay, back to this. Question mark? I could use it to sight my rifles. That'd be pretty cool. I would actually like to see that. Okay, good word. Kao's a flashlight. A Kao's a flashlight. Correct, a flashlight. Would be really cool. Alright, I need a little bit more softer. To be fair, that was when I was in Japan. To be fair. Oh, Hayu. You know? Dark Virus, you subscribe to Fall Side. That name sounds really familiar for some reason. Your constant reactions makes me think you would enjoy him. Ain't nothing like telling your lads, go get drunk this Friendsgiving. Guys, am I exercising for 7 hours on, or excuse me, 6 hours on Thanksgiving? I have not decided. Alright, I need to blend this a little bit. Alright, because I'm not liking this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not liking how harsh this is. Do it! Yep, says Raina. Raina just says yep. Raina, you are so funny. Why am I making you sigh right now? You know why. Friendsgiving is just a bunch of friend-zoned friends. I've only said supportive things, I've thought. Hi, you. I can't tell if you're having an autism moment right now or not. Okay, I don't like that. Let's take this. Edit, redo. Man, I really wish I knew how to fucking color. Alright, edit, redo, edit, redo. Guys, what if I just stopped drawing and was like, let's play Tetris? Would that be strange? Oh, Tasato! Are you still here? Give Hayus a donut. Chaos just wants to fight you for no reason. No, it was one of those ones, I'm like, the sensitive Sally. I have to bite my tongue. That's what it was. Okay, now let's take that back. There we go. Chaos is using her viewers' autism against them. Twit longer to follow. Hi, you could probably cancel me too. Hi, I'm still here. Does my audio sound better? Because remember I was messing with the audio. Does it sound better than what it was? Then do it Lego Tetris, says Raina. Raina's enabling me. The thing is, Raina, I gotta kinda have to work. Just a tiny bit. Alright, let's go back to this guy right here. Let's see if we can add some highlights somehow. It sounds fine. It sounds great. Okay. Because like I was fixing my audio. So hopefully it sounds better. Some things don't matter. Let's see. I think I'm right at the highest light possible. I'm done with my delivery now. I get to drive 200 miles to get back home. Jesus. I think you said you're a truck driver, right? That's wild. Okay. This. She's got to provide to society. OMG, Rico, says Samantha. Alright, let's get my little watercolor. That's the blender. Any news on the visual novel or the coloring book? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've had things come up. Oh, I like the way that looks bloody. Like it bleeds. It's kind of cool looking. Yeah, I've just had stuff come up. Like, I gotta finish my model. You know what I mean? And because I'm, like, revamping my store and stuff like that takes precedence right now. Okay, maybe like this. I'm just making shit up, you guys. Worst artist in the world. Poor Chaos has like 10,000 things. Yeah, I do. I do. I have to start another plushie, submit the current one that I'm almost done with. I have to reorder every piece of inventory in my store. I have to rephotograph every piece of inventory in my store damn near. I have to make my computer work because I'm ordering all those parts. Stay fucking hard, hell yeah. Hell yeah. You got this, thank you. At least it's all the positive kind of stress that kind of associated with success. You would think so. You would think so, but because so much hell comes involved with all of these things, like for example, like the plushie stuff, it's like it is so fucking stressful. So like my last Chaos plush, it took me 2 years to finally get to the point of where I was like, okay, I can mass manufacture this. You know what I mean? I think it was like something like 2,000 emails of correspondence between like me and like multiple people who were working on the toy itself. So it's just a nightmare. I gained so much weight because I was stress eating. I believe in you. It's called toxic motivation. And I'm not a big fan of Dr. K, Dark Virus. You know what I mean? Dr. K, I think... Okay, let me know your opinion. I think he's like the opposite of David Goggins. You know, some people don't work with toxic motivation. They don't. I do. I feel like David Goggins also does. You know what I mean? You know? Was it different? Wasn't there a different vendor at first that completely effed it up for the first plushies? It wasn't necessarily that. It was one of the people I worked with was not a very skilled plushie maker at the time. So there was just like a bunch of revisions that had to be taken care of. You know what I mean? Can someone explain toxic motivation? Dark Virus can. You know? Oof. Yeah, it really did suck. It really did suck, you know? Like, there was so much involved. It was just a nightmare. So it's like, I've learned a lot from, like, the next plushies and stuff to work on. But it still is a lot of work. Who's gonna carry the boats and logs? Exactly. Stay hard. I like the things and concepts he says, but I kind of want to punch his face, to be honest, for some reason. I've never been a really big fan of him. I don't know. To me, often, like the small clips that I've seen of him, he talks and communicates in a very condescending way. Does that make sense? That's the feeling I get from him, and I can't really pinpoint it. I don't know if it's his inflection, the way he speaks, but the way that he gives advice and stuff like that is really condescending to me. You know what I mean? Basically being an asshole and taking shit and regrading someone into improving. I don't know if it's necessarily that. You know? I don't know if it's necessarily that specifically. Really? You went, dear God? Did you really? I think he's referencing David Goggins. I think he was referencing David Goggins. I don't know if he actually went to Bud's. I found my old bowling trophies from 7 years ago. Cool. That's really cool, Samantha. People who speak with absolute authority are exhausting. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, there's one thing to be educated, but into the topic of mental health, it's so cut in, like, it's so, like, different for people. To talk authoritatively isn't really effective, I find. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, you know, what works for me for fitness may not work for everybody else because we have different bodies. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say, for a fact, guys, you need to do 5 miles of walking. You need to do an hour of Pilates. You need to do an hour weightlifting, and then you'll look like this, because it's not a one size fit all. So it's like, I would say, hey, here are my circumstances. I'm a woman. I have insulin resistance. I am this tall. I weigh this much. Maybe this will work for you too. That's kind of how I feel, but I don't know. It kind of does. I could see that. I've only seen the podcast from the guy, but I haven't seen his mannerisms, other stuff. I'll let you know if I see more of him. Yeah. And to me, I'm just not a really big fan of him. You know? Can't Hurt Me is a life-changing book. It's a fantastic book. That is literally impossible to be an authority in something as vast as mental health. Exactly. But the way he talks almost like the clips I've seen of him, he talks in a very condescending way, as if it's going to work. Like, he's like very from what I recall, anti-toxic motivation, where it's like, you know, like wanting to go hard. Like if a woman broke your heart, I'm going to go extra hard in the gym. And he's like, that's not long-term like happiness. Maybe to him, maybe he's a peaceful person. There are people in this world like myself who are just like inherently angry just by default. So those toxic motivations work better for me than just, oh, you know, life is good. I can breathe in the air. I should be grateful for everything. It doesn't work for me because I grew up in an environment that was very high stress. Inherently, I'm like an angry and high stress individual just from my like growing environment. Me when I don't draw. I hate drawing. Okay, back. Okay, we'll do the shading when I fucking... we'll do the shading after, you know? Let me get something. Okay, so if she went through a personal trainer curse, would be a menace. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's get down to the big jacket. Right jacket, right here. There are like guidelines to it, but the person has to take it all as different forms of the authority. Whatever that meant, but the thing is like for me, the David Goggins kind of personality works for me. You know what I mean? Because like I like to push myself hard. I have the mindset of someone in the military, you know, because you had to do that in the military. I like doing that. It truly, truly motivates me more than anything else will. So it's like for you to say like with authority, that's not going to work. It depends on your audience. You know what I mean? And I understand my mentality when it comes to motivation doesn't work for everybody. That's why I'm always like, guys, you know, take my stuff, take my advice with a grain of salt. If it doesn't work for you, you can leave. It's fine, you know? I genuinely don't take it personally. I've never felt more vindicated in being an inherently angry person. Exactly. I really am. And that's just what works for me. Like, I find it really fucking funny. You know, I never thought of you inherently angry, but that explained things. You're good at hiding it. Yeah, I really am. Like, the real and true answer, by default, I have insane anger problems. I know how to handle them publicly to a decent degree, and I leave when it's like it's getting too much for me. But I do have anger problems. It's just in the same way someone can be born with more depressive states, like more depression than another person. The same way some people can be born optimistic, I was born angry. You know, and I grew up with the childhood was very high stress and a very stressful environment. My parents used to fight all the time. So it's very normal for me to argue. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? So what I do, I find like-minded individuals and I do try to control myself in a healthy way. I am very angry by default. I am a D1 hater. I hate to break to you guys. Gotta get fit 'cause I can't fight the second American Civil War if I can't run a mile. Hell yeah, Rico, you should get fit. Every single person can have different motivations. A good motivator or personal trainer can learn what motivates an individual the best and leverage it to the best to bring the best out of the person what they need. Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You know? Do you have anger management issues, Kay? By the definition, I am like, what's it called? Like, clinically bipolar. Like, I am like that level. Like, I am like comically bipolar. Like, that angry. But I can hide it pretty decently well. I also have anger issues. Yeah, agreed. Me and twin. Me and twin dark virus. Respect to that, I found myself as well when it comes to I found myself as well when it came to my anger. So you're the Hulk. Yeah. Why not? 1000% learning how to walk away from situations, save face was a big part of growing up. Yeah. Because like I truly, and there are certain times where it's like, you know, like I know how explosive and like damaging my anger can get. You know what I mean? And I do try to the best of my ability to suppress that. I was born off kilter somehow for sure. What do you mean by that? I get angry at the second something goes wrong. Could go from happily eating ramen to choking while screaming on top of my lungs. Well, see, the thing is like, Samantha, you do need to learn to control your anger. I have like, obviously, like, I'm not undermining it. I'm just saying, like, in relation to what you're explaining, I have, like, situations in life where a bill will just come up, like, just something will come up, and I'll owe, like, $3,000. And it's, like, it's devastating to come up with that money from, like, just absolutely fucking nothing. But I'm not gonna scream, and I'm not gonna take my anger out, because it's, like, I need to control myself. You know what I mean? Don't let your emotions control you. Don't scream. Don't throw a fit. You know, because that's your emotions controlling you. If you let your emotions control you, you can't control your thoughts or your actions. You know what I mean? Oh, right. Forgot about the bipolar. Yeah. So as a result of that, I'm comically angry sometimes. You can certainly be born with more of a certain disposition, or how you're raised at a young age heavily influences what you're going to grow up to be. However, everyone can work to improve themselves. Agreed. Like, again, like, I don't let my circumstances, my bipolar, my PTSD, I don't let that be an excuse of why I'm angry all the time on the internet, why I lash out on people who are undeserving. I manage myself. You know what I mean? And there are days where it's like, if you stick around in the community for long enough, you'll see there's days I just disappear. Like, I'll just go 3 or 4 days and I just won't be, like, on social media at all. And it's because, like, I'm raging. I am just absolutely raging. I used to be I have a bipolar parent, bipolar sister, and I'm fairly sure I'm there too, just never asked for a diagnosis. If it really bothers you, get diagnosed. If it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, because I realize there's not a lot of medication to fix it, and I'm still the angry person I was when I was like in middle school. You know what I mean? But I do know how to control it better. But it wasn't learning about bipolar that helped me with that. Yeah, anyone that sees 1% of my anger, it's like it completely changed the perspective of me. It sucks to try my best to suppress it. Yeah, and that's why I do try to like surround myself with people who understand. I do have a problem. I do have anger issues. I hope you know you can forgive me when I get angry sometimes. You know what I mean? I try to surround myself with those type of people. But yeah, I burn bridges all the time. You know what I mean? What did this all say? Hold on. At this point, I'm pretty sure bipolar just means female. Agreed. Let's see. I've been working on my anger issues, but other times I go nonverbal. There's nothing wrong with that. There's sometimes I can't. There have been a few times, actually, I've gotten so angry on stream, I just end stream. I just don't say anything. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Because, like, it's either I cancel myself or I just end the stream. You know what I mean? The choices are kind of clear. You know? Definitely comical sometimes. You know what I mean? I think my anger comes from competitiveness, which I just learned to be chill in life when I'm actually doing a good job being both competitive and also humble. I'm very competitive too. I really am. I don't think my anger really comes from that. I think I'm just like, I'm a very, I like to compete. I don't really know if it comes from anything specifically, but I agree though. And after a while, I stopped being angry when it came to things that didn't matter. Yeah, readjusting my perception on what matters has really helped a lot. Because I understand now there are some people in life I just can't reach. You know what I mean? I just can't reach them. And that's fine. I have to know when to throw in the towel, when to understand that me and this person are just not compatible. And so what I do, I look for people who are compatible with me. You know what I mean? There are people out there who are similar to you, believe it or not. You know, but it's the same way. A lot of people don't understand this, and I find this very fascinating. I specifically market myself a certain way on social media because I'm trying to attract a certain audience. In the same way, people are looking around to see, like, where is the perfect streamer, content creator for me? Where is the perfect VTuber for me? I'm doing the exact same thing with my audience. So I'm not going to do certain behavior that specifically attracts this kind of audience. I'm not gonna do the niceness, the like, oh guys, are you guys having a beautiful day today? I'm so happy-go-lucky. Because it's going to attract those types of people who like only want to be superficially nice. And I don't want that type of people in my community. I do want to protect them. I want people who can handle jokes, who can handle banter, because there are days where I'm going to be explosively angry just because I do have a mental illness, and I want the people to stick around that can possibly withstand that. You know what I mean? I don't want the people where I say one thing that's a little rude to them and then Google Docky. You know, Google Docky 10 minutes after. You know what I mean? But it's like, I do find that so interesting that, like, people need to understand not everybody is a one-size-fits-all for everyone. You know what I mean? What do you do when that happens? Turn them into a ghost Hachi. Whatever that meant, but hell yeah. Your anger isn't an issue. The world we're giving is so messed up that you should be angry all the time. No, my anger is definitely an issue. I am very perceptive of, like, human emotions and human behavior. And it's gonna sound like really cringy and like those memes where it's like the skeleton memes where they're like don't mess with me unless you want the fire. You know, it's gonna sound like corny like that. But I'm very, very perceptive of people's insecurities and people's self-esteem issues and their self-worth. I'm very aware of that because that's why I try to help them move past it. But the problem is when I get really angry, that's my first place I want to target because I do want to deal damage, like psychological damage to the person. You know, so it's like, it's a double-edged sword of being like aware of people's insecurities and stuff like that and not getting so angry that you use it against them in a very harmful way, you know? So my anger is a problem that I need to control that because, like, you know what I mean? It's the absolute worst thing when someone attacks your insecurities. And I don't want to be that kind of person. But when I get that angry, there's a higher chance of that happening. So that's why I control my anger by leaving. 9 times, okay, maybe more like 7 times out of 10. Every VTuber, hi everyone, Chaos, listen here, you sons of bitches. We're playing Tetris today. Exactly. Listen here, Dark Virus, 650 pounds, get your shit in order. Tasato, you're a freak, lonely virgin with ugly hair and ugly style. Fix it immediately. Stargazer, you're broke and poor, and you can't financially support anybody. Meaning you need to get your ass to work. Who else do I have? Who else do I have? Hi, you work for the government, you'll never find a wife. Now I'm trying to think of a threatening tagline for Kaosa to use. Mess with the fluffy tail, you get the... You're funny. I'm here to chill. It is really cute though. I said hi. Hello, Maria. It is really cute though. There are very like similar personality people in my community too. Very like, you know, very rambunctious. But and then there's like the really, really nice guys. It's so funny. Like Stargazer, like he's so sweet. You know, he's like literally the opposite of me. We're all chopped and unk, you know what I mean? Dealing damage to the empaths by attacking their life points directly with pure anger. Pretty much. Pretty much. And it's bad though, you know what I mean? It can be used, and this is gonna sound absolutely psychotic. It can be used in a healthy way though. Because like, if you can kind of tap someone's insecurity, it makes the point you're making sting a little harder. So maybe they understand what you're trying to say better. That sounds absolutely fucking psychotic, but it is technically effective. You know what I mean? Technically. Woo, 290, we're out here, baby, trying to marry you, says Dark Virus. Good God, you and your polyamory. You and your polyamory dreams. I go AFK for a few seconds and chat goes crazy or something. No, Reina, this is normal. That's your best shot. Hi, I'm holding back for you. Hi, I know who you are. You are a little sensitive baby. Hi, is a little sensitive baby. I'm holding back on you. Man, I can't wait till I'm out here long enough to get one of those. LOL. You know what I mean? It'll come with time. Even the most innocent people. Guys, it is a rite of passage to at some point hate me. You're not a true Donatachi unless at some point you hated my guts. I think everyone who's been here longer than like 3 months has hated my guts at some point. It's a rite of passage. You know, you're not a true Donatachi without that moment. Without the I wanna fucking kill this bitch. Without that, you're not a true Donatachi, you know what I mean? It's okay if I'm ever getting uncontrollable under your skin with my deep cuts. Maybe we should have a safety word. Perhaps landing gear. You're so You're so funny. You're so funny. Listen here, Tasato. Listen here, Dark Virus. Do you see this? He's like, if I ever actually get under your skin, Hayu. If Hayu ever gets under my skin, alright. Alright, I'll create a safe word for Reina too. And for Stargazer. Stargazer, I'll create a safe word in case you just... One day you just get so under my skin. You know what I mean? You got me to roll my eyes once. See, Murgoff, I have to know you a little bit better in order for you to go through that moment of pure hatred for me. I've been more afraid than hated. You're funny. Stargazer, you're so funny. You're just like, Chaos is scary. That wasn't quite what I said, but okay, says Reina. I was just using you as an example. Not a true Donatachi until you get tagged in accountability. Exactly. Exactly. This is the kind of shit talking we all love. Exactly. And God forbid other people have love languages that are not as normal. You know what I mean? I love my little ragtag team. You know? Is a safe word. Sure. For you, Stargazer, sure. They're gonna get under your skin by being too nice. Yes. Okay, I was supposed to say no, but yes. Because Stargazer used to do this fake ass nice shit all the time. And it like pissed me off. I'm pretty sure I confronted him about it. I miss environments like this, like the kind of all guys lobbies where everyone's talking the most toxic way possible, but everyone's friends. Yeah! We gotta bring that back. You know, we gotta, guys, we just gotta bring it back, create that environment, and then gatekeep it. Which I think, again, I think we kind of gatekeep ourselves, not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because the people, they feel like attacked when like we disagree with them and they leave. So gate kept successful. I found the new Hayu emoji dead. Well, that would make me a fake fan because I've only respected you and never loathed you. Thank you, Reina. Thank you, Reina. Reina, you get the exception. You've been here longer than most people here, Reina. They don't know me like you know me, Reina. You know? How can you think that this little dork is scary if she knows you? She's literally built to be punted. Murgoff has never seen my scary side. Which is good. You know? We gotta keep the, the guard down. You know what I mean? She's scared the apologizing and saying JK away with her. You know what I mean? You barely say that as much anymore. Which is good. I found Tasado as the clown. Which, you're funny. So far, the only way you disappointed me was by picking a modern SIG as your first gun. Okay, first of all, Rico, you have not taken into consideration. I am a woman. The gun was called a Lux. Deluxe. Luxurious. Of course that's gonna sell to me. What are you expecting? The only other alternative was probably the rose, because rose flower pretty, you know? You're silly if you thought otherwise. I'm sure it'll come around, probably. Eto but Murgoff, I'm 6'7" and didn't know fear until I met my wife. You're so funny. You're so I love how you like double down on like, hey guys, by the way, I'm 6'7", and then my wife at the same time. The guy. Roses are overrated. And this one was supposed to, they called it also like I do like fancy things, and they called it like the softest like CCW shoot right now, and I'm like, save that for me. My pencil arms are gonna need as much softness as I can handle. You know what I mean? And then I fired the gun for the first time, and I'm like, they are a fucking liar. I think it was the loud noise that scares me. Now Tasado's height is a meme. I know, he's nonstop 6'7", you know? Flexing having wife to our lonely ass. Don't give in to his psychological warfare, wrinkled sacks. He literally just started calling me his wife one day and has never stopped. And so many people believe it. It's actually kind of funny. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Tasado, your wife. They're all playing into his games. Getting your 22L concealed carry. I don't know what the 22L whatever means. 22LR. Okay, it's a 380. Thank you very much. Oh, but as you're saying, like, recommended, I should get a 22. Okay. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think I've seen it truly scary until I saw my cousin 5 years younger than me laughing at Chipmunk while firing at it with a BB gun. I don't think that's necessarily scary. I think that's a result of improper parenting. Because I don't know what parent would allow a child to have a BB gun and harming animals. So it sounds like his parents failed him. Is what I'd guess. At one point in season 1, it was basically the Tasado show. That was really funny. I know. I was like, when I figured out I couldn't draw, I'm like, all right, where the hell is Tasado? We need content. We need content. And hello, Hylock, how are you doing? And you never stop me because you know it'll be true one day. If you can afford a $20,000, whoever, listen here, offers open for everybody. Whoever can present me a $20,000 teardrop. What is that opal called? That like teardrop style? It looks like this. I already forgot. Whoever can provide me that ring, I'll become your wife. You know? I'm a gold digger. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. I'm materialistic. You got that? You got me. That easily. Pear-shaped. There we go. I almost said opal. I know. I almost said opal. I meant to say a diamond. Non-lab grown, by the way. Non-lab grown. Write this down. I saw lab grown in person. I'm like, that's not even a diamond. Her, my cousin, is she? Alright, sorry for the misgender, my dear Samantha. I almost said my... That's so funny. I almost said my dear Stellar. That's so funny. That's so funny. My wife says she can get it for you right now. I'll marry your wife. Why not? She's taking care of you for this song. I'll marry your wife. What if all of chat contributed? Me marrying chat? That's a, I don't know. Isn't that like what, polyamory? I don't know about the whole polyamory. Cubic zirconium first. Shut the fuck up, Dark Virus. That was so funny that one time. I mentioned it once and I never heard the end of it with you. Chat, who's viewing the stream in vertical? That's a good question. It's a terrible angle. It really is. Alright. I'm trying with this drawing, you guys. I'm gonna trust the process, you know what I mean? We just become a hive mind. Can you imagine that? Voting on what we do. You're like, alright, that'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind me calling Stellar, says Samantha. Stellar is my favorite they, them. I have a friend who's a they, them. And their name is Stellar. And but every now and then I forget the whole they, them. So I'm like, oh no. You know, that's who Stellar is. Can your wife buy it then give it to me so I can propose to Chaos? Says Tasato. That's a good question. Chaos a reverse harem arc. Damn, this new season's kind of ass. I'm trying. Okay, give me better plot lines. And we'll go with it. We'll go with it. But I need content. I'll never spend that much money on jewelry unless it provides stat bonuses. Yeah, me being your wife. You know what I mean? Whenever you go to the gun store, we can hook arms together. And you can be like, look guys, I have a wife. That's the stat bonus. It's that easy. I think every one of us has forgotten at least once. Exactly. Stella Fo's channel is the real MVP. Hell yeah, Stargazer. She believes in your orphan ass. She always says, aw, orphan, when I mention you, Tasato. That's so funny. That's so funny. Maybe I'll do it soon. Hayo seems to be interested in it. What the? When is the GoFundMe? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? If Tasato had a successful GoFundMe and I had to eat my words about the $20,000 ring marriage? Oh god. Maybe I should think a little bit more before I speak. Having Chaos as a wife is truly endgame. We gotta help Tasato. Oh no, not the Tasato cheerleaders. Not the Tasato cheerleaders. I'd marry you for that, Murgoff. A 20k pre-NFA machine gun. No, I don't like loud noises. I would laugh my ass off so hard. Can you imagine? It would be like the modern day mail order brides. Except the country I'm from is the virtual world of VTubing. Damn. That'd be so funny. I'll invite you guys all to the wedding though. I don't think I'd like that. I'll erase that. Oh man, what you mean? You said the stat bonuses are worth it for Tasato. I think the stat bonuses. Tasato is his #1 dream has always been a wife. So I think that'll be a perfect stat bonus for him. You know? That'd be insane. It really would be. If I were to get married a woman, I would make the rings for my fiance and I. Oh, you'd make them by scratch? Okay, okay. I'd want mine store-bought. I'd want it store-bought. You know? It'll be the picture from Chaos-a-Con all over. It literally would be. It really would be. Every Donatachi right now having a private meeting on a way to pool 20k. That'd be so fucking funny. I've already thought about the possibility. The chances of this all happening is insanely high. What is insanely high? Me marrying a stranger for content on the internet? I would do it. Because life's short, you know? As long as, okay, at the end of the day, as long as my bills are paid, that's the only thing that matters. You know what I mean? As long as I can live comfortably, nothing matters. What do you mean, chat? He says he's 6'7". He yearns for the wife. Your #1 dream? My #1 dream? What would be my #1 dream? What would be my #1 dream? Probably a success. I don't know. Probably like a successful toy company. Might be my #1 dream. Like the insane rich, like not the like. You know, not the streaming to 30 CCV, you know, kind of rich, like the insane, like, you know what I mean? You don't even check the prices anymore. Open a donut shop and gym. In the same place, actually. Labubu rich, exactly. No, the chance of people pulling money together for something new is insanely high. It is definitely possible. It is definitely possible. If 20K is the price, I guess I'll be married in about 40 weeks. Let's see. Rico, I have a very, very important question to ask you. In the month of April, do you pay taxes or do you get a tax return? I do ask. 30 CCV, we are so back. They're like, finally this bitch works. It's such a surprising thing to see me working. People are like, let me tune in. You know what I mean? KO's a no. Curse to square cube law. What is a square cube law? What is this? Is this like a Gundam reference? Alright, here we go, Hayu. Talking about your Gundams. Unfortunately, I did see that Suisei made like some sort of like Gundam colored, like Suisei colored Gundam or something. I think it may have already sold out. Either way, I'm trying to find it, but I can't. Here we go. It's a physics thing, it's not just a Gundam thing. Okay. Alright, give me 1 second. I think someone's at my door! I returned. It was my my CPU being delivered. New Sweet songs for the latest Gundam show was great. It really was. I don't really care about anything, I think is what it's called. Gotta finish flight and maintenance training. Can't be bothered with a wife when I'm on that MF grind set. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Gotta prepare for the gig. See you later. Appreciate you guys being here. Hot tub ad for chat, says Raina. I still get refunds every April. Even you? You get a refund? Okay, plan C. Anyway, for legal reasons, I'm joking. I'm looking at my new CPU. Oh, hi you. I don't think you were here. I got a new motherboard. I'm giving up on the one I'm having issues with. And I'm just doing kind of like a consumer grade motherboard for the meantime. I maybe will build like another computer just as time goes by. So I bought a new motherboard and a new CPU. I have an Intel Core Ultra 9 is what I'm working with now. I mean, hopefully it works. You know what I mean? Read my earlier comment. All right. Let's see. I mean, hell, I still get refunds every April, if that's what you're talking about. The Sweet Song was literally the only good thing about the latest Gundam series. Oh! No one explaining why. In all seriousness, that's a bad metric. Most of the rich people I know actually get refunds because they're good at maximizing deductions. Yeah, but if you get refunds over time, like when you're running a business, you can get flagged by the IRS. I mean, you're consistently like running a negative business, and so you're not really contributing much as a business goes. So you can get like flagged for audits for that. I see though. Respectable. I'm gonna keep saying this, keep me accountable. 2026 will be my comeback year. We hope so, Stargazer. We hope so. If you need tech help like installing Windows running a mem test, help me up. True, but all that means is you get audited. Audits doesn't mean illegal. Yeah, but it's like, you never know. I don't even want to do anything that increases audits. Not hope, it will be. I like the way you think. I like the way you think, Stargazer. You gotta change, you know? You gotta change. What the? It came with all these fucking, like, little coupons. Most publicly traded companies run at a loss for, like, 10 years. Audits do suck, though. I've never been audited, thankfully. Wait, why to 2026? I think that's just, like, his, like, thing. Why not now? That is a good point, though, Stargazer. Why not now? You know what I mean? Start all your good habits now. I do like the boxes that CPUs come in. They're, like, always pretty. I think this is... a... Guys, I hate drawing. I don't even want to get back to drawing again. Today! Today! Exactly. Not tomorrow. Today! Alright. Alright, BRB. I'm gonna go pee, then I'll get back to drawing. I've returned. Then it shall be today. Look at you, Stargazer. Exactly. Every day I wake up... Listen here, Stargazer. I can't even sleep at night because the first thing I do when I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I am so ready to have another day of improving myself. Being a better bitch than I was yesterday. Get excited. I hate drawing. Why me? Why me? Why me? Why? I'm gonna get my coloring book on board. Hell yeah. I was a man of culture. Are you doing accounting at your own company? Me, specifically? Yeah, I do all my books. I do my books. I do my taxes. It helps me learn the tax laws and, like, kind of shapes me to how I should manage myself throughout the year financially. You know what I mean? 83 seconds! I can only guess what that 83 seconds meant, you know what I mean? Something tells me you don't hate as much when you draw off stream. Agreed, agreed. I just like talking to you guys so much. I'd rather just talk to you guys and play Tetris. I don't care about drawing on live stream. I do need to though, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, I want to stream today, but I also need to work. So I'm like, okay, well let me draw and work. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason I'm doing it. She's a self-made woman. Exactly. No college could teach me what I knew. So that's why I didn't go to college. That's new meta. Colleges, they couldn't teach me what I needed to know. To be this self-made, so I didn't go. I like it. I like it. The drawing is just a background task, executing while the chat feeds loads. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? That's exactly it. College is overrated. It really is. You're drawing and you're gonna like it. Me? Me? I don't like drawing. Guys, me when I draw. Blech. Blech. I like it. Okay. Well, you like it. That's good, though. You legit can learn more useful skills on YouTube. You really can with, like, obviously a fraction at the price. I just studied human behavior, and that's how I know all I know. Alright, I think I can clear that up a little bit later. No, I'll clear it now. We better start liking it because there's gonna be plenty more of it. Drawing? Ugh. Cheeseburger says Rock. Hello, Rock. How are you doing? How are you doing? I do hate all this. Oops, my phone's over here. You're so cute. Cute. What the? You're so cool and cute and attractive and motivational when you draw on stream, says Otto. Speaking of which, I'm considering learning the live 2 cuties. Blah. I can't speak. Why am I getting this? Speaking of, I'm considering learning the live 2D cubism stuff too. Let me know if the course you're going is working for you. Yeah, for sure. I've not even opened it once, but I will let you know. It's very interesting. So, like, would you want to rig your own model? So why are you wanting to get interested into it? It looks like a really fascinating and cool program to learn. So I do think it's going to be very valuable to learn. But I do wonder why you specifically would like to learn. Let me put you there. Oh no. Guys, wouldn't it be so much better if I was just playing Tetris? Should I? What time is it? I get bored easily when I draw. You and me both. You and me both. You know? You and me both. More the value of learning something new and potentially useful. Still need to figure out my own model, art, whatever. I see. I see. Working on my cover letter for a job and also a short video script for Minesweeper video. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. I'd like to see you guys do more content creation. I think that'd be cool. It is very cathartic. KO with their procrastination 100%. I like drawing streams. I get to set aside some time to draw for myself for once. Also making a live 2D model. Ooh, that's cool. Mine's only taken me like an entire year. And I'm still not done. So Godspeed to you. Hopefully you can get it done a little bit more faster than what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I could destroy KOs at Minesweeper. I could beat your ass in public, in person, and in Tetris. I gotta work on my KOs at Suisse video. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, Chad, this time in an accountability corner, we're rebuilding everyone's attention span. Yeah. That is a problem for me. You know? Be nice, Kaoza. Hayu's funny. Leaf should do one of his Minesweeper runs too. He got surprisingly good at it. He really did. In Tetris, quite possibly, not sure, but Minesweeper? Not sure in Minesweeper. That's so funny. Like, I love how you disregard the physical in person. And you're like, okay, well, Tetris, maybe. And first of all, wait, quite possibly. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Nobody in my community can beat me in Tetris. Unbelievable. Definitely Sada if I want to learn from him. For sure. Whatever you gotta tell yourself. Do you want to play right now? Do you want to play right now? Like, trust me, I am begging for a reason to not draw. We could literally play this right now. But you're also a cheater in life, so, We're not playing right now. Okay. Look at Murgoff. Being responsible. I see a tail at the corner of the screen. I see what it's attached to. It's attached to me. It's attached to my model. I'm a fox. KO's a finding excuse to play Tetris. You know what? My dignity is on the line. My dignity. I'm a cheater in life. What does that even mean? Do you not remember at KO's a con when I was like, let's race up the stairs and you cheated? And I called you a pussy. So in real life. The F you mean in person? I literally just explained. You were there too, Tasato. You guys are funny. Yeah, you sprinted. I'm working on a research paper on why dinosaurs survived the TRG extinction. But the pseudo-Suchians did not. What the hell are the pseudo-Suchians? Can confirm he cheated at the stair race. Exactly. I literally have it on video. Well, Dark Virus does. Of you being a cheater. Your dignity of being ousted as a dirty, dirty procrastinator. Okay. People been knowing. People know. I hate drawing. I'm the only person who actually beat Kaoza while racing up the stairs. Okay, fair and true. We had a race at KozaCon, you guys. And Tasato and I ran up a flight of stairs. And do you know why Tasato beat me by literal a step? Dark Virus, would you say it was probably like a step? I'd say a step and a half. He beat me by a step and a half because he's 6'7" and I'm 5'3". So I have a much shorter leg. It was a step, exactly. A much shorter leg than this freakazoid Slenderman stick-ass motherfucker. That is the only reason. Guys, men and women, physical differences. Here come the excuses. I mean, I feel like that one was fair. That one was fair and real. Guys, what do you think? You think that one was fair and real? So beat KO's in a stair race and she continued to attempt to murder him the rest of the weekend. Exactly. It's what he deserved. I did it for the Bloomchen. Oh, Bloomchen. Tasato, you're for real 6'7"? He actually is. He actually unfortunately is. But like, and like the kind of 6'7" where it's like it becomes a little uncanny. Where you're like, you know? That kind of 6'7". The more I learned of KO's a con, the more I feel bad for Tasato. He got what he deserved. Everybody knows this. So there's nothing wrong with it. I'm very aware of my own poor attention span, so you're getting hit with the violent encouragement to do better. Alright, real and true. Real and true. Doing good, Murgoff. Sounds like she's got a skill issue. Yeah, being short-legged. You know what I mean? Built like one of those inflatable tube men. Exactly. Exactly. Where you're like, wow, this is kind of like low-key freaky. That's Tasato. You know? Poor Tasato was limping. Oh, by the way, when I absolutely blasted him in the race, even though I missed by a step, he took damage and started limping. So that was certainly something. Me, on the other hand, walking just fine. Shorty looking yeetable. Perhaps. When I got my x-rays after my accident, it was still bruised then? Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Oh god, you're built like a... I don't know what you're built like. Okay, this looks kind of like a camo jacket, which I'm not really a fan of, but it's like not too bad. Alright, let's try... Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. Clipping mask. I believe the technical term is font size. Font size. Listen here. I'll punch you in the jaw. In case you were wondering. Right. Do I have any airbrush? Paint and apply. What the hell does that mean? So it's just like a... Ooh. Just like a blend. Can you reach it? I can, super shorty. You're 5'6". Get out of here with that, Hayu. You're literally 5'6". His Achilles toe. And I tanked it when walked 9 miles a day that whole trip. Tanked it? What does that mean? Is that a new word the kids are using? Tanked it? Okay, I don't like that. I can't color. Don't like that. The KO's plushes are height accurate. Guys, speaking of which, my Black Friday sales ends... I don't know. I think it's the 29th. And that's when my plushies are also going to go off sale, so... Figure it out. Figure it out. Okay, just help my dad get a piece of meat ready. How was that, Jay Stace? Was that exciting? How was that? People have been saying tanked forever. This is like my first time hearing it, actually. Interestingly enough. You know? It was pretty neat. Oh, I see, I see. I was like, I'm so tall, and then it was like a foot shorter than me. The absolute state of our Navy. Unbelievable, right? Not even letting the people shop inside our... You know, that's what I was thinking. I think I actually have it to where it like ends on like... I don't even know. Me when I'm a fake KO's a fan. You know what I mean? Alright, I gotta figure out something. No, I'm getting overwhelmed again. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do everything coloring like this, and then I'll do all the shading at the end. Subtle product placement, you're welcome, Kaoza. Hell yeah. That's what I'm here for. Well, yeah, with that. Where's my sleeves? Right here. I love when you say, you know what I mean, after barely putting a sentence together. Because, like, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping and praying they know what I mean. You know what I mean? KO's a canceled. Oh, yeah. Okay, Grandma, you've never had someone say something he tanked that punch? I don't think so, really. I stick up for a guy and try to be his wingman. He still has to stab me in the back. It's what you deserve. It's what you deserve for being an officer in the military. And we both know this. It's what the officers deserve. Men. It feels like you ever have a dream when I know yeah. Sometimes I just say the most random ass shit. But shout out to the human brain for being a patch it together to understand what I'm saying. Real KO's fans buy merch after the sale so you get more money. Exactly. Real and true. Real and true. Was watching on my TV in the background, but I heard piece of meat, so I had to join, says Twisted Slop. Yeah, Jace the Ace was cooking up a piece of meat, it seems like. Pseudo-Suchians were the ancestors of modern crocodilians. They dominated the Triassic. As the TR boundary, 98% of them went extinct, but only 60% of the dinosaurs did. I have this child in my community named That One Leaf, and he likes dinosaurs. So you'd probably get along with him. You have very, very interesting interests, Rico. You're a very interesting person. You want him to do you so much you could do anything. Oh, it's Jace, never mind. Rest in peace! Where is That One Leaf with this conversation? You know what I mean? He'd love it. Let the dino autist talk. I think... guys, we need to have the autism awards. Guys. Who do you think here? We can do that. We can do the autism awards. Who has the most autism? Who has the most insufferable autism? Who has the most niche autism? We can do that. We can host the autism awards. Honestly, for most autism, like most like specific niches autism, I think Rico might be getting a lead. The TISM awards, you know, sign me up. You know what I mean? I know everything about Five Nights at Freddy's and I think about it every day. You know, the autism awards. Guys, we gotta do that. When should we do it? It has to be a perfect timing, end of year. We'll do it like on the 29th of December. That's the content I'm here for. I want to hear the Dinotism speak. Go back to being the drawing background, the Dinotism show woman. Oh god. Oh god. Welcome you guys to the annual Autism Awards. Pick me. Gun, shooting, tism, all contender here. I'm not gonna lie, I think for the gun autism, it might be Satsuma in the Discord. At any, like, no, like, he only speaks regarding guns. Only time he ever speaks. I think he may have gotten in a car accident the other day and he mentioned that. Other than that, nobody's talking about guns. He's like, you know what? I need to go to the range. I'll participate and likely lose, but I'm so down. That'd be so funny. Ket's first annual Ace to Minifin Awards. True. True. The Autism Ace to Minifin Awards. Dinosaurs aren't even my thing. A question was raised in the books when I listened to it and I figured out the answer while driving back to Houston. Exhibit A, guys, why he's the #1 autism in my, my vote. He's got the #1 autism. Ooh, and we can even do like a voting thing. That'd be fun. Poor Miley got removed from the self-promo channel. Ripperoni. I said prior. I was like, the self-promo is for people who are in the community. To like promote their content and stuff like that. Not the people who just see, okay, look, there's a self-promo channel. Now I can promo and then never do anything else. I was checking the chat logs in the history. And it was just like one, hi guys, and then self-promo for like the next 8 months after. We gotta get him back then so we can correct KO's gun purchase decisions. KET, but BET. Oh! KO's is entertainment television. That is so funny. Not the KET awards. Do people even watch TV channels anymore? I vote Hayu for the most insufferable autism. The most insufferable. Let me think. Yeah. Poor Hayu. Nice shading looks great. It looks very mediocre. I hope I can make it look great. I'm trying though. I'm trying. Yeah, but you still like me at the end of the day? I do. I love my dear Hayu. My problem child. And I love Tasato too. I love Tasato a lot. Tasato's my favorite. I've gone to one of the self-promo streams once and they didn't even know what channel I came from. Oh. Wild. Wild. That's, again, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, some people just see that and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna use this to exploit. Wild. You heard that Tasato saved. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Wait, who will judge and determine the awards? I think I would have to do, I think voting would be the best. I think the voting would be the best. But, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with how award shows and stuff work even. You know what, Hayu? Okay, I'll let it slide. Oh god. Phew, we're safe, Hayu. I'm planning on writing papers on the thermal paradox and the Oort cloud. Hell yeah. Where do you publish these papers anywhere? You know what I mean? The panel of autists will decide. Reina. Reina the Queen Autism. She might be the final judge. She might be the final judge. Autism Hunger Games. Does everyone get participation ribbons? Yeah. Yeah. You know how it is. You know how it is. I feel very weird posting a self-promo, but I'm glad you had it there. Yeah, it's just for people, like, if you're, like, somewhat active, either if you're active in the Discord, even if you're shy, and if you're active in the channel, even if you're shy, that's fine. But it's quite literally people who just join. I don't know why they join the server. They don't show up in this channel. They don't show up in the comments. They don't even, like, even if, like, there are some people who just only show up in the real comments, that's fine too. But it's like, they don't show up anywhere but the self-promo channel. So it's like, it's very, like, it's very hard to reach that point where it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of pissed. 100% Reina. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hides behind the Ford Explorer from the Raging Bull at the One Homesteader YouTube channel. Hi, you. Stargazer, give him a donut. Give him a donut for that one, Stargazer. Alright, I think, I need to take out... What the... What is going on here? There's no way I drew it like that. Maybe I did. Why the hell do these sleeves look so ugly? I might have to redraw this. What the... Give Hayu the donut. There we go. Alright, let me take that. Did I really draw them like this? I don't have my thing over here. And there's just me who rarely shows up to post at all. You post like pretty frequently. All things considered. You really do. What's the votes looking like, my kids? 676767. True. Your kids are cute though. Are we on Alpha Lock? We are. How you would say you're still an active part of the community? Yeah, he really is. We know, like, again, like, you can have a life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like for literally people who I've like never heard speak outside of self-promoing themselves. It gives Hayu a to-go box. You're so funny, Stargazer. I feel like I only post maybe once every 2 weeks or so, and that's pretty good. Let's put you right there. Whatever. Did I really draw them like this? I don't know if Maggie can hold a tab it, so we're running out of suspects. You know what I mean? Like, what the? Why does this look so... I guess I probably was just drawing the silhouette with the front of the jacket, this, like, visible. And I guess I don't even really need to, but I will just fix it up. The only thing is I'm trying not to yank off her too much of her clothing. Right there. Yeah. I'll shape it a little bit more. I'm min-maxing the community contribution. It's bugging me, though I know why, that the plaid skirt pattern isn't bending with the skirt. Yeah, I'll figure that out. Or I won't. To be determined. To be determined. Okay, I gotta just make this look more like a jacket. You know what I mean? Guys, I can't draw. I can't draw. Transform skew. Can Moirin be a judge? Moirin's my little cutie. Moirin could run this entire community if she wanted to. She is such a cutie. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better shaped. My little Moirin. It's a pain, don't worry about it. Just my tism more. Oh god, now like we're gonna be like the tism baitings. The autism baitings. People are now gonna be like, you know what? This is proof I have not been autistic enough. Wild. Hey, Warp 2 might fix the pattern. Yeah. It definitely would. But I could even just like shift it over. I love how I'm like, hey guys, I'm working on a model, and everyone's like, why is this not perfect yet? We reached 50 likes, hell yeah. That's like a record. Record likes on the stream. Working on a model. A model. I like the way you spelled that. Working on a model. I want to Tetris stream so badly. I can either be responsible and be healthy and go on a healthy walk after this, or I can play Tetris. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Okay, see, now that looks a little bit more like at least like a sleeve. Bad Fox, no Tetris. Okay, when? Okay, Murkoff, let me know. Let me know. When can I play Tetris? Let me know. What is the answer? Draw and walk. Walk! Responsibility is my vote. Listen here, you're just trying to sabotage me because, you know, I'm gonna beat your ass in the upcoming next Tetris tournament. Nothing personal, kid. Exercise the body or the mind. Exactly. Walk and Tetris at the same time? That sounds a little dangerous. I don't have that level of hand-eye coordination, unfortunately. Take that. You need to play Tetris so drawing on stream doesn't give you PTSD. Oh, true. True. Unless you guys want this to be the last drawing stream in a long time. Tetris time. And then I lose half my chat because you guys are trying to snipe me. Unbelievable. I've got these hoes trained on you. Dear God. I've got these hoes trained on you. Okay. Poor Kaoza, I know. I am really poor. Especially after spending some... Hi, you. Are you still here? Did you see how much RAM's going up in price? I just had to buy some DR5 yesterday, actually. It's freaking stupid. It's insane. It's insane. Actually poor. You know what I mean? Like, actually poor. You know what I mean? Dedicated wham? Exactly. Why did you need to buy RAM? Because, like, the fucking issue was... my old motherboard was only DDR4 compatible, but remember, I gave up on it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy an old board. I bought a newer board, and all of them are, like, DDR5 now. You know what I mean? It just sucks. Like, what are the odds that my computer fails, and I don't have my computer all year, and then when I finally get a chance to buy new parts, dedicated wham is up 200%. Unbelievable. And how often do you usually play Tetris? On stream or in general? I need to start playing daily, but streaming, it really depends. I can't even tell you how often I stream. I wake up every day, put my ear to the wind, and listen. If the winds tell me to stream, that's when I stream. Wish I knew I could have hooked you up if you don't mind waiting a week or so. Okay, you possibly... I technically still in a return window. What do you have? Like, what is your, what are you offering as your wares? You know what I mean? The wide hips is nerfed. There we go. That looks more sleeve-like. What the hell was that prior? I probably just drew it because I was testing out to see what the silhouette looked like. That's probably it. Got a few extra sets of DDR. How much, like, okay, how much is, like, how much, like, what megahertz or whatever? And how many gigabytes? How much you need? I got 32 gigabytes of, nah. See, I will say the one I bought was at least 6,000. It was 6,000 I bought. 128? 128? Yes, Tasato willed this. The wins, Tasato begged you to stream today. 4-day week and that's what up. Is that? Oh, that's coming up soon. That's right. Okay, these look more sleeve shaped. Oh, let me fucking save. I have not done that in like the entire stream. 56 is the highest official supported speed. 6,000 is OOC, which can work with friendly gains or minimal. I think I should be fine, all things considered. All things considered. Right now I can go back to coloring. Yeehaw, I love Tetris. I love Tetris. I got a note in one of the orders for my Black Friday sale and they were like, I love your Tetris streams. And I'm like, that is the most touching thing someone's ever said to me. So no Tetris today. Oh my god. Murgoff is keeping me in shape. Murgoff, I'm gonna need you to do this with my diet too. I'm an emotional eater. I'm a stressful eater, Murgoff. Help me. That's so sweet, lol. How much did you pay, I dare ask? Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see how fucking insane. Are you guys ready for this? How much I paid for... Let me see. I don't want to misquote. The dumbest shit possible. And this was the cheapest I could find. Hold on. Where did my purchases go? Okay. A Murgoff will be your work bitch bunny. Hell yeah. Work bitch! $1,246. That's insane. I just had to do like the math. Wait, what? Yeah. That's disgusting. You know what I mean? And what's really crazy is that was like the cheapest I could find. Yes. That is what I paid. For how much? 128 gigabytes. I mean, at least it's not 64. At least it's not 32. That's a whole PC. Yeah, it's you know what I mean? It's shitty. It fucking sucks, but I mean, it technically at least it's not like insane. That's fucking insane. It really is. And like the worst part is that like I was having issues because the company I ordered it from originally, it was like some random ass company. And I ordered 2 pieces for the 6400 like megahertz or whatever it is. And they said like they got so many orders over the weekend. I bought the last 2 and one of them they miscalculated, so I didn't have it. So I actually had to downgrade and say like, okay, well, can you give me 2 of the 6,000? And they were able to get it. But at the time when I was looking for the 6400 megahertz or whatever of the 64 gigabytes, I think the cheapest I could find, if I bought it from a different place, the cheapest I could find was 908, which is wild. I'm not good at tracking calories, but I'm good at motivating because I put the discipline and self-criticisms I have onto other people sometimes hypocritically because I want to support those do better. Hell yeah, Murgoff. Hell yeah. I bought my graphics card on a big sale. My bank voided the purchase but didn't tell me, so I had to pay full price. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. I played it. At the time, like, I don't even know if I overpaid. I probably did. For my 4090, I think I paid like $2,300 for it. I don't remember. If you're hurting for funds and told seriously, you do not need more than 64 gigabytes for your use case. Okay, boy, you don't even know what my use case is. Because I have stuff in work, like my 3D model, and I'd like to do certain things with my 3D model. You know, so you do need a lot of, like, power for like live streaming 3D environments with like good lighting while running the live stream, etc, etc. You bought a 4090? 4090? Are you guys surprised? Yeah, I bought the 4090 a while ago. You know what I mean? You aren't running an AI on your computer. Okay, hi you, hi you, hi you. Here we go, hi you with the pocket watching. Listen here, boy. You don't know me. Gonna be simulating all the fabric. Like, it's a really good idea to have a 3D model as a VTuber that looks really highly rendered in like Miku Miku Dance for like clips and stuff like that, because like then you can put out clips like way more easier and they look high quality. It's just like filler content, you know what I mean? So you have to have good stuff for that. She isn't running an AI yet, and that was actually the plan. You know, I was gonna get into the whole what's it called, local light models and stuff like that. KO's a not bipolar does want an AI KO's a daughter. Exactly. I thought it would be kind of cool to create a clone of myself, or try to, and that way I can argue with it. My biggest motivation for switching to live 2D is my inability to stream games I want to play with my 3D model at the same time. Ah, yeah, yeah. It's really good when you have both. When you have both cases. Writing and drawing simultaneously is good. Keep up the work. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Where's my microphone? Would the clone be Kaoza? It'd probably be Kaoza 1 and Kaoza 2, because it's like bipolar 2. You know, Kaoza. 2 Kaozas. Kaoza AI chatbot when? Running a high-end VTuber model with video capture and gaming at the same time could be done with 24 gigabytes, the most ridiculous scenario with modern memory speeds. Alright, now show me that, but create a good-looking product. Create a good-looking product. I mean... You know what I mean? I get away with a lot making pre-made scenes in Unreal Engine and using them for backgrounds, though. I would like to learn that, too, eventually. And that's, like, also another thing. It's like the Unreal Engine, the blenders, they take up a lot of space. And also, if you're using, like, a very, very ridiculously modeled, like, VTuber model, like, I've seen people, like, have to use, like, 40+ gigabytes of RAM for it. Just for the Live 2D software. AI 561. Yeah, so that's what I was going to do. I was going to take 561's body and make it into a different, kind of like a variation. But, all it came crashing down with my computer. Decided to die. 40 gigabytes for the Live 2D software. I've seen it. I've seen it. Literally run what you do with half the memory inserted in the PC and tell me if you see any difference in frame rate. Alright. When I get my PC up and running, I'll let you know. I'll let you know, Hayu. I'll let you know. I'll handle you, don't worry. Kao's a 3D model. I wonder if she's gonna make figurines out of it. I had thought about it. It's really, I don't know why it's so impossible to find a good figure manufacturer as someone who's like small like me. I can't find a good high quality figure manufacturer. Most run on 32 gigabytes of RAM. Yawn emoji to Hayu. Yawn emoji. Yawn emoji. Listen here. Actually, you know what? I might just go out and do 256 gigabytes just in memory of you. You know, just be like, you know what? I bet Hayu would love to see this. I think Noelle's is literally the only one with 64 gigabytes in their rig at the moment. Go for it. Okay. LMA. Dark Virus, you're so funny. You know what I mean? 3D print your own figures, but I want it to look high quality. I bet that would look cool, but like I'm kind of like a quality snob. You know what I mean? Unless I can make like a high quality product, I really don't want to. You know? All things considered. Listen here. Who's the #1 peanut Tachi? The peanut Tachi who lives in the peanut gallery? Really makes you think. The only small figure manufacturer looks good, I think, is Novel Horizons. Even then, they use that kind of weird... Like, they have the figure and then they spray over the figure for, like, the skin color. You know what I mean? It's like a painted figure. So it's like you can like scrape the face and some of the paint can come off. Last time I checked. Beef P-E she. Beef P she. What the hell are you saying, Hayu? I think he's seething. I think he's seething. You know what I mean? Yawn emoji. I might make my backup PC the workstation motherboard with the thread ripper. Guys, have you heard of the 5090? Are those any good? Maybe I should get one of those for the backup PC I never use. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that. I'm pretty sure that's the case, if I'm not mistaken. And most Western companies, for whatever reason, do that method. You know what I mean? Sleepy Rain in chat. He's making fun of how Japanese pronounce English. Oh, I see, I see. I thought it was just like a cute, like, ooh-woo thing. We get a faceless figure made and then making fun of UV printer to add the faces. Okay, that'd be kind of funny, actually. Legit, don't waste time on the 5000 series. Just get an RTX 6000 at the point. Maybe, actually, maybe. Only 8,000 USD? Alright. If you think it's good, if you think the RTX 6000 is good, I might as well. Might as well. Might as well. The 50 series is about 10% more better than the 40 series, to be honest. Really? That's it? This 5090, I just kind of got it, think it became my PC. It was just one of my off purchases, dropping the bucket. You know what I mean? I bought it, actually. Actually, I already have it on order, and I actually forgot that I had it on order. You know, just a day in the life. You know what I mean, Dark Virus? You know what I mean? I didn't say it's good, but if you're into just burning money, why not? Mine as well. Mine as well. If I get a Hayu molding session, which I get every time I spend money on my computer with Hayu, I think it would be worth it. I think it'd be worth it. In terms of actual rasterization power, I think it was 10 to 20% better. KO turning that Dojinshi series about rich One sounds trying to bright showed us with graphic cards and RAM. You're funny. I could all. Oh! My Tamagotchi. My Tamagotchi just cried for me. Hold on. If I didn't care, I'd say go for it. Listen here, Hayu. Listen here, I know you're thinking in kind of like a survival mode. The government held on to your paycheck for a little bit. I get it. I get it. You know, I understand. I understand the pocket watching. I used to do that too, you know? You know? I used to do that too. Specifically when I was in the military, actually. So it kind of checks out. KO would take the 20k ring, wear it for a week, and then sell it for PC parts. You know, might as well. I want this, I want that, I want a pony so I can ride it twice and get bored and sell it to make glue. I'd be mean. I'm not mean to little ponies. Alright, I think I've drawn enough. The shutdown ended though. Did it really? I just remember everyone was being angry at like all the circumstances. Like when it shut down, they were angry. When they came to conclusion, people were angry. It's almost like people like being angry. Sadly, it didn't end before the pre-order for the Habu watch closed. What is that? Speaking of which, I need to pre-order my little Suisse Nendoroid. If you're done drawing, get walking. Get walking or get Tetrising. It is 5 o'clock. Oh, I could play Tetris. Alright guys, should I play Tetris or should I walk? You guys are all calling me fat. You guys are all calling me fat. You're like, no Tetris, walking only. Good God. Everyone's calling me a ham planet. Me. You should have went and got one of those 0% loans they were giving to government employees. The Habu nickname for the plane, watch made with refined titanium from one of the decommissioned planes. Wow, how much was that? How much was that, men? You know what I mean? They're like, women. Women, they need to eat salads and exercise. Unbelievable. I didn't because frankly I didn't need it, just wanted an excuse not to spend 4K. Guys, I'm investing into something that will benefit my career, which is PC parts. I'm investing in something I can write off of my taxes. Hayu wants a $4,000 watch for fun. For fun. What is this madness? What is this madness? Hayu is just upset my computer's better than him. Better than his computer. 1v1. Any one of my computers, Hayu. 1v1. Whose computer comes on top? And that's what gets to you. Says a lady who wants a $20,000 ring. That's not much to ask. I don't think... Guys, answer me this. Is that too much to ask? You know, you get whatever this is for 20K. I think that's a steal. You know what I mean? That's nothing, says Hayu to the $4,000 watch. Unbelievable. That's totally valid of Hayu, the investment towards a possibly new wife. Yeah, I mean, that's true, that's true. A 4K watch isn't too much compared to the Moon watch. It's my dream watch at $35,000. The Moon watch? Is that the one with like the little celestial like guys? Like the little thingies? I don't know. That sounds familiar. It's not too much. It's the best bargain in the world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hayu just doesn't get it. I think that's a bargain. Chaos is priceless. Exactly. And Hayu's over here trying to slander me. The #1 peanut tachi in the community. The peanut tachi gallery, Hayu. 20K ring. I think that's a steal. No, it's really the model watch of the Apollo astronauts. A model... The model of watch. So it's not even the watch that went to the moon. It's a model of it. Let me look at this. Apollo... I swear to God if this is ugly... I'm finding you. Apollo moon watch. Watch, let's see. Okay, I don't know if I can find the $30,000 one. But what is, like, what... I have a dream watch of a $35,000, but KO's are trying to invest in a computer that makes for high quality content. Bad. Men good, woman bad. Really makes you think. Really makes you think. If this is ugly, I'm binding you. I can't find it. 35K. Don't tell me it's this like stupid ass Omega thing. Men good, woman bad indeed. Hayu in a nutshell. That is Hayu in a nutshell. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for spending that kind of money wanting those things. Oh, here we go. Okay, so is this the Omega thing? This is about to be a men moment. I know it. You're one of the good ones, though. What the? It's just a watch. It's not the shitty Omega one. I'll stick with my $15 Casio watch. I use an Aura ring, but that has nothing to do with anything. I meant to say, like, that's the only thing I wear on my wrist. When I'm exercising, I do use a Garmin watch, though, so I got that going for me. But... Men good, woman bad. Haha, Hayu, your PC sucks. Alright, whatever the hell this is. Let me take off this thing. Hold on. KCOs are great for their place. Watches are basically jewelry for men. Like, solidifying my conclusion that all men are women. I did need to make this black, though. Let me make this... Do I even want to make it black? I'll make it black later. Alright, guys. I hate drawing. I'm terrible at drawing, and I hate it. Or coloring, rather. Habu. Tetris time. You think I should play Tetris? Okay, maybe like 1 or 2 rounds. How about that? No, I really don't want to set up all the stuff that comes with it. I'll probably draw tomorrow, like just during working hours, not stream it, and then play Tetris tomorrow. And then on Thursday. Okay, guys, I do need help. Did it censor me? I think it may have did actually. How many hours of exercising should I do for stream? Because I want to exercise because it's Thanksgiving Day. It's gonna be like exercising for X many hours to defeat obesity on Thanksgiving. It's gonna be like the stream title. Link in Discord for the Habu. Let's see this ugly ass watch. That is worse. That is 10 times worse than the Omega one. What the hell did you just send me? You just said Habu. What the hell is it? Don't tell me you want this. Oh, that's the one that was made out of the aircraft. It's still ugly. Makes it a tiny bit cooler. It's still ugly though. It's giving Ben 10. Men. The SR, if that's the one I'm looking at, the one you just sent me, the Habu one, it's giving Ben 10. Wild. I'd like to see your closet. Guys, we need to do a closet review. Because what the hell is this? God, every fucking unlock offer. Get 10% off now. This website's annoying. I'm curious what a cool watch is in your fashion sense. Whatever indicates the man makes over 8 figures a year. Whichever watch that is. 6 hours to Stargazer. 6 hours. Okay, 6 hours of exercising on Thanksgiving. I can do at least 2 or 3 hours of biking. But the only thing is I start to physically hurt from the biking. So probably 2 hours. 2 hours. What if they made one out of 561? I'd buy it. I'd buy it and then dunk on Hayu in the same breath. I no longer have a closet. Stargazer! What the? What's going on? 1 hour and it's a deal. I could definitely do 2 hours of biking. Okay, so I was thinking 2 hours of biking, 2 hours of Miku boxing, and then 2 hours of what? Maybe Wii Sports or something like that. But I mean, I feel like you know what I mean? The Switch Sports. Maybe something like that. 561. Oh, Hayu, did you hear? The 561 aircraft that landed in the ocean, they ended up scrapping it. Like, I think they announced it officially in July, excuse me? Yeah, they're scrapping her. They were gonna try and rescue her, and it seems like they tried for about a year, and they just ripped her apart, rip. Did I hear Miku boxing? Yeah! I like doing fitness-related stuff. Tetris, but you do the same number of push-ups as you rank after each match. That would look great if I had a 3D model. Like that and like squats and stuff like that, but I don't like, how can I prove it? Any limited run Petak fill up watch should indicate 8-figure income. That retweet. I read that one. If they're wearing a Rolex, they're a boring chode. Where's your Rolex? Post Rolex, Hayu. If you got a piece of that somehow, it'd be comedy gold. It would really cool. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. I think they said they were taking pieces of it and putting it like in other aircraft. So her soul lives among the other P8s. But I think either 2 hours, no push-up to pro wrist, that's true. I have to be very careful with my wrists. They often auction anywhere from 5 to 10 million for the decent ones. Okay. What would I do to get a piece of 561 then I'd frame it with the word woman above it and send it to you? I'd love that. I'd love it. I'd love it. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Pull some strings. Figure it out, Hayu. I need a piece of 561. You know what I mean? Alright, so maybe like the Switch Sports for 2 hours. On like, I have to make sure, I have to test that out though, just so like I have enough room in front of my desk to play. And then 6 hours of exercising for Thanksgiving. I think I could do this. The only thing though, is after, I want to bike first because that's going to be the worst one. Or like the hardest one. I'm going to have to shower in between it. So there's gonna be have to like a little probably like a 10-minute pause so I can shower because I'm like it's gonna be disgusting how sweaty I'm gonna be. And honestly, if I can go for 3 hours, I'll do 3 hours of biking. That way I only have to do 3 hours of Miku Expo. Or Miku Expo. Miku Boxing and Switch Family. See, this is why I love this place, because people here actually find that funny instead of just reacting all offended and shit. Hell yeah. Goodbye to my family. I have to watch the 6-hour K-athlon. Hell yeah. I gotta do it. I don't know why I have to, but I have to. We all know I have to. We gotta inspire other people. Dark Virus, how are you gonna fare for Thanksgiving? You know what I mean? Are you gonna survive? I will say a lot of streaks break on the day of reckoning. Guys, the day of reckoning is among us. Chaos is a true inspiration. I probably will get a Thanksgiving breakfast. I'll go to like one of those 24-hour places like a Denny's. I gotta carb up. 6 hours of exercising? Ooh. I got this. I got this. You have to because you said you would at some point. You never lie. Real and true. Dark said he'll do a 24-hour fast beforehand. Oh, my sister-in-law fasts. That's awesome. And I'm doing a 24-hour fast that day. So you're fasting for Thanksgiving instead of eating? Is that what I'm gathering? Like, is that what I understand? I've been eating unhealthy at my grandparents. They have too much sweetbread. Yeah, the old people, they'll sabotage you because like they don't really need to worry about their health as much anymore. So they will sabotage you. That's very real and true. But I'll probably start on Thursday. It has to be kind of early because like I got to use up all my energy. So I might start stream probably around 8 or 9. Probably around 9 if I think about it. Whoa, no, I'm doing 24-hour fast and then eating. Aw, Dark Virus. That would have been so good. That would have been so good if you fasted for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That'd be great. On Thanksgiving. Okay. So tomorrow you start to fast then technically, right? I see. Okay. I guess it's better than nothing. I'm ready. I'm back. I'm about to wrap things up. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I will go for a walk. Let me be a good kid. I was talking about my K-athlon I'm doing on Thursday. Exercising for 6 hours straight. I remember I like Oreos. I know, Stargazer. It's so funny. You always mention Oreos specifically. It's really funny how that's like your kryptonite. I'm gonna get out of here for night. You have a good rest of your night. See you later, Hoshimaru. I appreciate you being here. If it wasn't my sister-in-law, I would have. Bye, everyone. Bye, Hoshimaru. Not playing Tetris while it's gone. I'm proud of you. KO's-a-thon. Exactly. Alright, I think I'm gonna go get ready for a walk. Anyway. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Tulu! Thank you for being here.